Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning,
In the morning.
bright and early, 8
Man,
o'clock. If you believe in the concept of time, fresh edition is happening now. Let's get it fired up. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Money. All right. Welcome. It is a Monday morning. It is
hey,
April the 6th, 2026. And you're now
yeah.
tuned in to a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy to God. And we
Hey,
welcome everybody who's coming in today. We appreciate everybody who's getting up with us, who's following the time change and coming
man.
on through. I see RG saying morning, y'all. Good morning to you.
Hey,
Appreciate you
hey.
coming on in.
Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Let us know how everything's going. We do have special guests today. The reason why we start late is to accommodate the schedule of the senators. Senator Ashlei
Yeah,
Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney. It is Senator Cypher Monday. It's going down.
man.
Yep.
Man.
So
Yeah.
once again, appreciate everybody coming in, buddy. How you feeling this morning?
A little tired, boss. A little tired. Another late night in the studio. Kind of a long weekend, to be honest. Just a lot of activities. Just a lot. Been out with the babies. They're on spring break, springtime. A lot of
Mm,
things going on in the city. A lot of reason to be outside, man. So kind of feeling that, but feeling good. Definitely looking forward to today's conversation with the Senator Cypher. A lot of things to get into. As always, a pleasure to check in and just joke around, start the day off with the fam, man. So good, big shout out to everybody and good morning to everybody starting their day off with us. I definitely appreciate you. See you in the chat talking about today's Michelle Marino's birthday. Shout out to RG for letting us know about that. So yeah, Sister Michelle, if you come through, happy birthday to you. And even if you don't, I see you're checking in right now, right on time, saying good morning, everyone. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. And thanks, for starting your day off. We wouldn't have blamed you had you not, slept in the day and just, celebrated. But again, we appreciate you for tuning in. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy your day. But yeah,
yeah,
other than that, man, feeling great, feeling good. How are you? How are you?
yeah, I'm feeling okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. Definitely a busy weekend. Lots going on with the family and stuff like that. So just kind of recovering from that over this early Monday. The extra little hour here has helped, so we got to put that back out there. Do we?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
survey that we were supposed to put
yeah.
in the last newsletter. We'll put it in this week's newsletter for sure. But yeah, last we left off, we were asking people, do we like the 8 o'clock start time better than 7? I know a couple people said they like 7 o'clock still. A few more people though said they like 8 o'clock. So yeah, we'll just have to keep on asking the question and make the pivot when it's necessary. It definitely helps us out a little bit to wake up a little bit later with some of the late nights that happen on Sunday
Oh
night
yeah. Oh
for
yeah.
sure. So, but yeah, we'll come back to that and a few more things. I think we're getting ready to implement a few more surveys as well. Shout out to Mama God who's reminding us to get those in. You know, we've been talking about them and building them, but we haven't released them yet. So we're going to start on that stuff, and just really kind of get more of a dialogue back and forth from you, the chat chimers, ghost listeners, and everybody that tunes in. So
That's what it's
appreciate you
about.
very much. Marlon Harrison in the chat saying good morning, First Sky family, and happy Monday. Okay.
Okay, okay, something new. I like that. I like that.
Mine on his money and money on his mind. He said,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
getting my taxes done today, so that's why it's a Money Monday today. Okay, got you.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, it is tax season in about 10 days is over, so I can imagine there's a mad scramble going on with people
Man,
trying to get their taxes done, and we need to look into it. It's follow the money season. I have heard some rumblings about some people who are already saying that their taxes are not going to come back in time. They're not going to get their refunds in time. They're holding
hmm,
refunds back. You know, this administration is doing some things.
really?
Yeah, so
Man, heard about
I put that on my list of things to dig into so we can report on it. Yeah. So, but get them done because you want to be like me out here owing and and got to form
yeah,
some plans. Yeah, you can get behind on it real fast. So we got to do it. One thing I think they're really going to do is start really not locking down on that. There's been definitely been changes at the IRS because of this administration. So we got to dig in and see what those are. And it's a perfect time to do it. Tax season.
yeah. Tis the season. Get her
Tis the
done.
season. Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Appreciate you coming in this morning. That's what's up. Yep. Also, yeah, everybody giving some love to Michelle Moreno. Appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
It is her day today. That's what's happening. Love that. I love that you got able to get up and let us know what's happening around town as well. We're definitely going to dive into a few things. Of course, some things happened over the weekend that we need to talk about. One of the things being the Revive Summit. There was a lot of discussion at the Revive Summit about resources. We're always talking about resources, especially for business. This is follow the money season, and so for business resources, man, just getting a good grasp of everything that's going on with what's happening. So if you happen to make this, let us know. Let us know. I did pop in myself and talk to a few folks, and we got to hear from the couple from the Rib Shack. We'll be talking.
Man,
They're all in the news right now. We'll be talking about them a little bit as well. But they were able to be on a panel and talk about the business. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in the show. Most
the
definitely.
Rib Shack. That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
I love that. I love that. that thing stuck, man. That's stuck for real. We thought it was real funny at first, and it was like after a while, it's probably like our in the morning thing. It probably sounds
Mm-hmm.
funny, but it sticks in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this is Monday, so it's time to for a new, fresh edition of Swing Left Nebraska podcast. Definitely check that out. They've been digging into the budget, so they're going to be talking a lot about the budget, which we will also be talking about today as well. This state budget that has been hanging over everybody's heads. Sean, I can't wait to ask the senators some questions about that too. What has come of that? But definitely check this out wherever you get your podcast. Shout out to Leah Keister, First Sky Omaha fam, is involved with this Swing Left Nebraska podcast. And yeah, if you want to know more about that, then definitely dig in. It's going to be budget talk for week 14. So that's what's happening. And yeah, a few more things going on. Who we got coming in? Arrows 402. There he is. So,
Hey.
well, if you owe them, they can't keep you for your refund. You're doing good. Yeah.
That part.
That
It's a way to look at it.
Most definitely. Yeah. Let us know about your journey with that too. I kind of want to know because we're in a transition ourselves on figuring out about taxes. Who's doing our taxes? Our personal taxes, business taxes. What's going on? Do we need a accountant? Do we need what's who does your books? Do you do your own taxes? Lots of questions going on here, but the biggest ones we're going to try to answer is what's going on with the tax situation during this administration. We'll be looking at it for sure.
Not just the taxes, but student loans too. I think the IRS is actually taking over the student loan situation as the Department of Education goes down. Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely got to look into it.
Definitely. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning. Appreciate you coming on in. Before we get too far into the community updates, I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge there was a death. Gabrielle Union's father passed away, and yeah, that's tough one. Tough one. His name was Sylvester. Another Curly, Sylvester Curly Union Jr. passed away over the weekend as well, and Miss Gabrielle Union put out a heartfelt post. Yesterday morning, my dad, Sylvester Curly Union, passed away. No matter how much you think you know about dementia, nothing prepares you for the painfully slow disappearance of your loved one. Yeah, and she kind of went on there. If you have her, if you follow her on Facebook, definitely check out the rest of this. She had a lot to say about her dad, and it was really, really heartfelt, really, really a tearjerker here, really. Nobody's really prepared for this kind of loss. And then, of course, not the way that it's happening. We are dealing with so much more dementia and Alzheimer's in our society right now. That is, I'm meeting more people that are experiencing it with their family than not.
Man,
it's really something else, including in my family. We're dealing with a lot. So yeah, my heart goes out to her father, her family, and man, rest in peace, Brother Curly.
man, for sure. I think it was the Union family might be a part of the dozens of cousins. Again, family, a large, famous family in the area. So man, I know a lot of people impacted by this passing.
Yeah, most definitely. Again, appreciate it. We're just getting in here, firing it up this morning. We started at 8:00 because we're trying to accommodate the schedule of the senators. They're going to come on a little bit later on in the show, so we appreciate you bearing with us. Moving from 8 to 10 today. I see Arrows 402 says, "I claim my blessings." Did you hit the like button? Claim yours.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Appreciate that. Black Dynamite gives us a good morning. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. Marlon Harrison says, "I've been going to the tax place in South Omaha for the past 4 years." Okay.
Okay.
You got a regular tax person over there doing your taxes. It's tax season. We've been talking about it. Craziness. I see Pops in the chat saying, good Monday morning and mad love from Las Vegas. Appreciate you coming in, Pops.
Hey.
Yeah. What's up?
Middle of the morning for you, man.
or is it early? I think it's
Yeah, yeah,
earlier.
yeah. The
Yeah,
top of the morning,
yeah.
tippy top.
Tippy top of the morning for sure. Let's jump into a couple more of these community updates. We like to on Monday, of course, talk about some of the things that went over that just happened over the weekend. So I got to ask, how was everybody's Easter for the ones that
Yeah, yeah,
celebrated? Lots of people
yeah.
did celebrate. Lots of people didn't. I always thought found Brother Kasim's post pretty interesting. He made a post about Easter and just what it means for the community sometimes for certain parts of the community that is. So yeah, definitely checked it out. Let us know how it went. Saw a lot of people out. A lot of people that I didn't realize celebrated Easter were celebrating Easter. So like,
Mm,
yeah, it was a really interesting weekend. Let us know how your weekend went. Of course, we already talked about the summit that happened with Revive. The Revive summit was very very interesting. We'll talk about that a little later on the show. But man, lots of the heavy hitters on the panel. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have a brother come on that spoke on Saturday. He's gonna be on the show on Wednesday. So stay tuned. We got some more to talk about here. Lots going on. State of Black business is kind of thriving
man,
in a big
yeah.
way.
Saw that. I was like, let's
Yep,
talk about
yep. Also, Art Battle went down over the weekend. Let us know if you went to Art Battle. Yeah, I
man.
saw the pictures as it was going on, and it seemed like it was going off pretty good. So if you happen to make Art Battle, let us know. Definitely let us know, and whatever else you did on the weekend, let us know what went down. But yeah, definitely let us know how your weekend was, and if you did anything Love Supreme, did anything fun,
Mm,
anything. Did you spend time with the fam? That's kind of like what we really want to know as well. There's more things that's coming up this week, especially tonight. We talked about this with our special guest on Friday. The Omaha Checkup film where they're showing Wally and then having the discussion with some people from UNMC afterward. That's happening tonight, 6 o'clock. There's going to be some refreshments and things there too. So if you happen to go a little early, I think 6 is the time, and you can go have a bite, watch a movie, and then have a really important discussion a little later on with some experts in the fields of health. And so that's going down April 6th, 6:30 p.m. Ruth Sokoloff Theater. That's the Film Streams Theater that's downtown, north downtown. Go check that out. Again, if you go at 6 o'clock, you might be able to grab a couple hors d'oeuvres before you get in there for the movie at 6:30. So definitely check it out. Hopefully see you down there as well. Yeah. So that's something that's really going on. Speaking of Culture House, they have their candidate forum coming up on April the 8th from 6 to 9. That's a couple days from now. So they're not just out doing art battles and being art soldiers, but they're also out here making sure that we get to know the candidates during this
man.
election season in a big way. So here from Nebraska, 2026 primary election candidates is happening April 8th, 6 to 9, over at the Culture House, which is 3014 North 24th Street. If you haven't been to the Culture House yet, what's wrong with you?
Man, the Deuce. Check it out.
Got to do it. Got to do it. Also, shout out to One Omaha. We put this flyer up Friday, and then we put it on Friends of First Sky Omaha. They got some key dates coming up, and the key date coming up here for us, this is the 6th. So April 10th is the next one. That's their application deadline for some of the ideas. If you want to put an idea out there and maybe get some funding, shape of the future for your neighborhood. And this is for the Join the One Omaha Youth Advisory Board. So if you know anybody if you are young and you want to join this, or if you know any young folks that you think would be great for this, definitely check it out. We'll put this information again in Friends of First Sky Omaha, but be looking for that date, April 10th. The application deadline is coming up. So dig into this a little bit more. Go to One Omaha's Facebook page or their website, get some more information, and be a part of that. Shaping the neighborhood is going to be very integral this next few years here in North Omaha, especially with all this new construction and building and port
Man,
authorities and everything that's happening.
now's the time.
Now is the time. We got more to come. I'm gonna hold off here and just later on the show talk a little bit more about some of the community updates. If you have any community updates, please put them in the chat or put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha or both, so we can know what's going on as well. And we really appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who's done that already. We get a lot of our information for the show from the group page Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook. So please continue to do that. And that's what's happening. Kimber's clarifying on that flyer. Appreciate you coming in. Good morning. She says, to clarify, this is not our an application for funding. They will help with coordinating the mini grant award ceremony, though. That's what's up. Shout out to One Omaha and the work that you guys are doing with that mini grant situation. That the ceremony that we went to the last time people won the mini grant was awesome. It was really a way to be able to meet some other folks doing good work and partner with them. So
Man.
shout out to the work you guys doing over there. Appreciate the clarification. We'll have to have you guys on the show to talk about some of the upcoming things you got going on. Again, staying regular with One Omaha in a big way. Also, Marlon Harrison says his repass was a radius behind Walmart at Ames, and before anyone asked, I had 3 plates. Oh,
Talking
brother
about Brother
Terry, thank
Terry.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah, thank you, brother Marlon. I was looking for some information on that. That went down over the weekend too. His funeral was Saturday. A lot of people came out. Some people even flew in for the night before just to celebrate his life. That was a heavy loss for the city as well, man, brother Grisby. So yep, Marlon went there, represented. Appreciate that. He says, Kimmer says, Grandma Harris' funeral was Saturday. Man, the Cross Center let us have the repass there for free. Shout out to them. That's what we have all of our alliance meetings. Okay, cool. So the Croc Center. Okay, cool. Croc
Yeah,
Center is doing big
on the
things.
south side.
South Side, yeah. Rest in peace, Mama Harris as well. Man, there's a lot of celebrations of life over the weekend here. I see.
Man, real pillars of the community laid to rest.
Yeah. Marlon Harrison said his family wasn't playing with his funeral. They had 5 designated speakers, 2 songs, and it was an hour and 45 minutes. Boy, there's that. Appreciate the report. Appreciate the report back for sure. Also, Kimmer saying from the ground up starts this Wednesday at the Blackstone Theater. The information is in First Sky. Yeah, appreciate that as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we'll be talking about that. Yep. Mention that of the series that you guys have, this from the ground up series, speaker series, has always been powerful. So I know firsthand from when you guys were doing it at Benson Theater. So I appreciate you guys are doing that again. We'll definitely talk about that a little later on the show. But before we get too far into it, buddy, let's talk a little bit about some of the thread that we got going on today. Shout out to everybody who has put information in Friends of First Sky Omaha, where we draw a lot. So what did we put together for them today, buddy? What's happening?
Yeah. Again, kind of touching on a few things today. Of course, setting up for our Senator Cypher later on in the show. A big shout out to Senator Terrell, McKinney, and Ashlei Spivey for working with us, coordinating with us, and trying to make this happen to speak to you all. So definitely get your questions ready for that a little later on. But in the meantime, between time, as I mentioned, got a few things to dive into. As Paul said, definitely be diving into this report. Quite interesting, man. Headline reads: Omaha Black-owned businesses surge 122% in the last 6 years. And I know we've had a lot of conversation about job creation, businesses just looking for, following the money in regards to business development, economic development. And to hear these numbers is, I'll be honest, quite interesting. So I definitely want to dive into that, especially on the heels of the Revive Business Summit. If anybody else made it to that, would definitely love to hear your take on that situation. Because again, when we have conversations around Black business, especially in North Omaha, it's not always positive, especially when you look at situations like what's going on with OEDC and Fair Deal. The feeling is more of that than surging in growth. So I will definitely kind of dive into the update on that situation as that continues and the back and forth goes on. There will be some appeals, but we'll dive into that here in a second. Also, we're still pushing this 6 to dismiss ahead, although the season is follow the money. We still, got a little bit of ballot or the bullet energy going on with the midterms coming up in a few weeks. And actually, for those of you who are preparing to go in to the polling place, and you just updated your ID, you might want to double check. There's some printing errors going on, and again, there's a lot of hurdles, a lot of distractions, a lot of just things, roadblocks being put in our way on the road to vote. And again, ID just one of those things. So we're going to dive into some of the I guess mistakes going on or misprints, as the headline reads, with that situation that may be affecting you, especially if you just updated your ID. And then also looking at, again, what's going on with some of the campaigns. Kavanaugh, Brother John Kavanaugh is a name that we're kind of hearing some controversy surrounding, trying to figure out what's going on. We've been having some conversations behind the scenes. We'd definitely love to dive into it with some of the senators, maybe some of you, and your thoughts on what you've been seeing around John Kavanaugh, just some of the candidates, man, in general. Like this election is getting a little weird. We kind of talked about in past episodes the plants that have been reported. It's actually made national news as far as some Dinos, I think, Democrats in name only, kind of being ousted. Some people saying some plants being put into races, and then also Pillen getting called out by his own party. This is man, as I like to say, broken clock is right twice a day, right? Today might be the day, man. Today might be the day. So we'll definitely talk about that and more. As Paul mentioned, definitely have to get into the budget a little later on as we set up and anticipate our senators coming through. And then shout out to Miss E. Miss Erica Felt posted something on Friends of that I wanted to highlight. Give a shout out, a little marching order, some perspective, some things you can do. Again, we don't like to talk about the stuff too much without giving you some, some direction on this. So again, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for tuning in. Again, we're a little behind here on First Guy Omaha in the morning, but it's all good. Monday getting in. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
What's the word?
Man, we got somebody coming in. Oh, Angel Stark in the chat. Good morning.
Hey.
I haven't seen your name for a while. Appreciate you tuning in. She said Newsome bookkeeping and tax can help. All right.
Okay.
Speaking of businesses that we need to maybe check into, this is the time. This is the time again. It is the 6th of April. So that means you got about 9 days before the deadline. April 15th is the deadline for taxes. So this is the season. Tis the season.
Man, tis the season.
And I highly suggest you do like me. Try to get our stuff straight with the IRS because what's happening here with this administration making these changes, they're going to come after us.
We ain't playing.
They ain't playing. We ain't playing either. We're going to take a quick break. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning. All B, buddy to God. We really appreciate you guys coming through. And don't forget, this is a special show today. We started at 8 o'clock. We'll go to 8 to 10 in order to accommodate the senator's schedule. Senator Cypher coming in shortly. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. All B, buddy to God. All of you, Chad Chambers, Ghost listeners, do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, share it on your page. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor and share the link. And let's get as many people in the conversation as possible. Only people that you think would benefit from the conversation and be able to add to it so that we can have a productive one. So we appreciate everybody that's joining us, everybody who is regulars here. It's a pleasure to always get back with you guys, and we love the way that you guys are participating in this conversation so that we can do that. This is one of the best online things I witnessed where there's some actual productive conversation going on, not just shouting at each other. So we appreciate you guys. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying trolling, none of the trolling.
Yeah, we for the most part pretty troll free around here. Right. Tony Johnson in the chat says a very little seems authentic this election season for most candidates and parties. Kind of par for the course as far as I'm concerned. I'm always looking for authenticity like every election.
Right.
Kind of hard to find. I agree with you, Brother Johnson. Michelle Moreno says I think he's coming to Big Mama's. Who we talking?
You're talking about Kavanaugh? I think. Let me clarify. Is that a hungry? Is that the next Hungry Club?
We'll be talking about it. Definitely have to talk about it. Appreciate you guys. We'll go ahead and jump into some of the stories here. We'll get the ball rolling on some of the things we're talking about. Can't wait to hear from you on that. What you thinking?
Yeah. That's actually a perfect segue into the next, the first article, first story, first topic of the day. Of course, I like to try to start the show off with some, affirmative, positive stories, kind of things, showcasing, displaying what we would like to see. Well, proving the point that we're trying to talk about and bring home with these conversations as far as following the money in this season with the theme. And speaking of Big Mamas, that's kind of where my mind is going. Again, the season is follow the money, but where is the money going? And quite honestly, it looks like it's going out west, but let's talk about it because, again, anytime we talk about not just restaurants, but business, a lot of times we're looking, where are the thriving businesses in North Omaha? It seems like we're hearing more about bars and restaurants and things closing in North Omaha. So just imagine my surprise when I read this headline from WOWT that says Omaha black owned businesses has actually surged by 122% in the last 6 years. And yeah, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Again, shout out to our partners over at the Empowerment Network and Revive. They just had the Revive Black Summit over the weekend. Would definitely love to hear your take if any of you made it out there. But again, as Paul mentioned, one of the thriving businesses and one of the features at the summit over the weekend were our good friends over at the Rib Shack.
Hey,
Gotta say it right. Gotta say it right. Again, the Rib Shack, owned by the Robbins family, started back in 2020. And again, when Miss Jackie opened it, all she had was her smoker, a few recipes, and some faith. But now, a few years later, they are thriving. Again, Robbins and her husband are from St. Louis, but came to Omaha when her husband needed a heart transplant. After his recovery, they now run a barbecue restaurant and are part of a thriving group of business owners. Again, Robbins says, we see a lot of people are growing and developing in the community, and, it's a great thing. Apparently, according to the article, between 2017 and 2023, get this, more than 230 black-owned businesses were created in Omaha. Again, between 2017 and 2023, more than 230 black-owned businesses created in Omaha. 51 of those opened in just 2023 alone. According to Brother Willie Barney, CEO of Revive Omaha, he says that in total is generating about $322 million in revenue and sales, and nearly 3,000 employees have been created through those businesses. Robbins, who again is the owner of Rib Shack, measures her success in tenacity rather than numbers, saying that resilience is there for people to keep going and thrive. And they see, like we share our stories to inspire people, and people, get inspired by us and tell us all the time. That gives them the inspiration to keep going. And definitely seeing the Rib Shack story is inspiring. Actually, if I remember correctly, they advertised with us at Minus Soul early on in the Rib Shack days. So again, we have definitely been helping them just get introduced to the community since the beginning, and definitely proud to see their continued success. But again, hearing the numbers, it is interesting. We got to talk about it. 230 businesses in the last 6 years. What say you, Paul?
well, first of all, I was able to go to the State of Black Business on Saturday, and every time I go, I get amazed by how many, first of all, resources that we have out here in order to support black businesses, but also the statistics that we're able to hear, the stuff that they bring up about how many black businesses are opening, are being served, and so on. We got to kind of say that when you get an impression from the news that this bar is closing or that bar is closing, it's kind of along the lines of it bleeds, it leads kind of reporting. So of course they're going to talk about some of the tragic things that happen in as far as business is concerned, but they don't do a whole lot of reporting on when new businesses are or ecosystems of businesses are thriving and what's going on there. So I think it was a very important study, understanding that going to this particular summit and hearing that firsthand and seeing some of those stats and being able to get more information than just some Channel 3 or whoever is just saying, hey, this new place opened, and then that's all you hear about it. You're hearing more of the story of how black business is running, thriving, and that's kind of where what we need to hear more. So I appreciate what happened with Revive and Empowerment Network and some of the other people that are involved in pulling those stats out and seeing what's happening and being able to hear from the business owners and actually have conversations. I actually got to talk to the owners of the Rib Shack, and I asked them certain questions that were pointed questions like, how do you keep staff? There's a lot of turnover when it comes to staff, especially in the food business. Also, shout out to Gladys from Big Mamas. Gladys was also a speaker on that panel, and I got to ask her the same question. How is it that you've been able to keep employees over the years? She said, and they both said that they have, they definitely make sure that there's the people who are about serving and about the culture first of all, because you can teach skills to people, but you want to make sure you got the right folks in. And then there's some that they've had and they've been loyal to them and making sure that they are loyal to them, get them paid and try to think of them as long-term employees. And that's how one of the ways that they can get people to stick around. So in an industry that's really hard to deal with, with everything that's going on as far as the food needs and the restaurant needs and stuff that we need, especially in our community. And then them not, especially the Rib Shack in particular, is kind of way out when it comes to away from North and South Omaha. That you got to kind of drive to them. There's a lot of factors involved in for us to have the opportunity to be able to speak to them and hear the expertise directly from the people who are being successful here is invaluable. So I highly suggest that everybody keep doing that, keep meeting, keep talking to folks. We need to create this environment of people, of like-minded people who want to make their businesses thrive, and so we can all kind of get together and help our business thrive together. So I think there's a lot of that going on. We just seem to focus on the negative a lot of times, and don't really look at that. But there's way more positive stuff going on than there is negative. As a matter of fact, when it comes to business, black business, especially in Omaha. So this is what I'm finally understanding just by digging in myself. You know what I mean?
Definitely, definitely. And there's the chat's going off. We'll get to it here in a second, but I definitely want to respond to what you're saying because it is interesting, like hearing these numbers and just the sheer 230 businesses alone is like, man, you kind of step back, you don't really think about it. But I'm kind of peeping the sentiment in the chat, and that's kind of where my mind is going. Like brother Bill King is saying, where did this data come from, and where are these businesses located? Kind of as you mentioned, the Rib Shack is Southwest. You know what I mean? I'm also thinking of like just anecdotally several businesses. I know the game shop by I'm missing his name. Brother ran for mayor or city council. Brother David. His game shop I think is out west. Idle Vital. She had to move out to 72nd. As far as so where are these businesses located? And I kind of have an inkling suspicion that most of these businesses are not in North Omaha, or you know what I mean. What is a percentage of black owned businesses that are actually thriving in North Omaha? And again, a lot of times when we have these conversations, it's not just about black businesses in the Omaha metro area in general. It is about where are the businesses and resources in North Omaha specifically, which is kind of a different feeling because when you think about it anecdotally, it does seem like there are more businesses closing than opening in the North Omaha area specifically. I guess that's my point is when we talk about locale, the story does kind of change depending on how a business can thrive or not. And then also, before we jump into the chat, I definitely appreciate everybody's questions about the list of businesses. This is something that we have been trying to compile and we have been looking for as well. And not just to, comb through it and see but just to have a list, just to know, what's out there, who can we support and where are the gaps as far as, what kind of industries are being covered. But again, a lot to talk about, a lot of bases to cover with this. The chat's going off. What's jumping out to you, Paul?
Yeah, that question that Sherman's asking, I'd like to see a list of those businesses. They're Revive. Revive has a list of business. Revive is actually the biggest publication that has the biggest list of black businesses. They've been gathering them for a very long time. As a matter of fact, they sent a printout over. I was going to try to grab it, but of course it's across the room. I might have to come back with it. But yeah, there's definitely a list of those, and they're constantly updating that list. And even though, we kind of know this too, because we've been also trying to compile our own list, but every time we do, we are looking for other people that are doing that too, because kind of the fastest way, best way, and Revive to me right now has the biggest list. So I want to definitely check that out. And also just a comment when it comes to the kinds of black businesses, where they are. There's a full range. There's people that are, selling soaps and stuff like that, all the way up to like Hayes and Associates, for instance. That's the biggest one of the biggest accounting firms in the state, let alone a black owned one. So there's this whole range of businesses. And also we talk about locale, North Omaha, South Omaha, East Omaha, the resources that are in the areas. But we also talk about a lot about how the black community especially is spread out all over Omaha. So just like the black community is spread out all over Omaha, so are the businesses. And that's what I'm kind of seeing as well. And I think there's a lot of like home businesses and stuff like that too. So that's another thing to think about too. There's a lot of businesses that may not have a brick and mortar situation going on. So we have, where's the network of online sources that we have for that? You know what I mean? So those are kind of some of the things that I'm thinking about too. I see, buddy, you're bringing in Revive, a Black Business Guide. Yep.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this is the directory. Here are the businesses. We see some of the areas: accounting, attorneys, automobile detailing, repair, sales. It's alphabetical. I mean, it's actually a pretty just zoom through it. Like it's a pretty long list of industries.
Yeah.
So and this kind of brings up another point. We've been kind of talking about the resources that we have in our community, and I mean, how many of us have gone to the just gone to Revive's website and looked at that list
Mhm.
as we're having that conversation? And I'll be honest, I remember the list, but when I think about okay, where do I go to black businesses? That's not where I go.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's not Revive. It's not like a reflex to say okay, go to Revive to think about all the
Yeah.
black businesses,
Yeah,
which
for sure.
is another point of conversation. Like how well and how efficiently are we using our resources?
Yeah.
Let's be
Do we
honest.
even know what the resources are half the time is kind of the problem as well. Like that's you got to find out what they are first, and then how do you use them. I mean, it's been a journey for us. It's been a journey for
Right.
us. Like we definitely came in not knowing about any resources when we started doing what we were doing. We
Man.
were begging for resources back in the minus old days, just about trying to figure it out. Trying to hold it down. So that has been a journey over time to like realize what we have like right in the neighborhood, even locally, but just in general, this kind of network that's been working behind the scenes. I mean, if they've done anything, they've done that. Yeah, I'm seeing sentiment here too, man. Like Anthony Rogers Wright saying maybe Willie Barney is counting himself more than once since it seems like he has four jobs. He does have four jobs because he owns four businesses, and that was
And you should.
and that was something that was brought out. And this is the kind of stuff I'm saying. Like I feel like a lot of times we going off of how we feel about things. Who has dug in and asked those questions and got those questions answered? They're easily answered. It's kind of like sometimes we go in looking for answers to match what it is that we think and believe. But if we are actually looking for data, it's there. William King a little earlier asked about where this data is coming from. This data has been gathered. It's been gathered everywhere. Like you can. It's if you're a business, then you can go. It's public domain. You can go find out who owns the business, and a lot of information on those businesses too. So there's that. There's also the question he's asking in the chat too, like where are the jobs? That's a good question. And at that summit, they did speak on that. They spoke on the fact that there's that we're a very low percentage of black businesses have employees, have three or four employees. So there's a data point there that says we have a lot of kind of one man band kind of businesses in our community, and compared to other businesses in the state, we're low when it comes to like how many people we can hire and so on and so forth. So these are things that people are trying to really kind of find some solutions to as well. And I appreciate that. William King. Also, I'm glad you're here, bro, because I wanted to say like the relationship you have with the Rib Shack. I mean, we learned about the Rib Shack from 95.7 The
Hey.
Boss. You guys been running you guys been teamed up for a while there. So I just was thinking about like where they're at. Definitely has I'm sure that you have to get some credit for the way that they have really blown up over time too. Just using your media resource to be able to big them up. That's what's up. Appreciate
That's
that.
what it's about.
Gary Clark's giving us a good morning. Good morning to you, bro. I appreciate you coming through. If you missed the conversation we had with Brother Clark, please go back and check that out in
Man.
YouTube. Very enlightening, and he had even more enlightening things to say at the summit over the weekend as well, too. So there's constant announcements happening coming from Inland Port Authority. Shout out to Gary Clark, who's running that scene right there, and everything that's been going on as well, man. I can't wait for you guys to kind of maybe you can come on the show and talk about it a little bit more, or shoot us some information from your site when you have these announcements about the progress there. There's a lot of money coming through North Omaha. There's a lot of money coming through our area. There's a lot of resources, a lot of building that's happening, potential for jobs, potential for businesses, and not just businesses that a good idea that you have, but also the infrastructure to set up to help you flesh these ideas out and even get funding for some of these ideas as well. So it takes some ability for us to kind of work together and utilize some of these resources that are sitting out here for us in a big way. We're going through it ourselves, so we'll definitely keep reporting on our journey with this whole situation, with finding about the resources and seeing how those resources can help our business, enhance our business as well. But it definitely starts with us saying, do we want to look into that? Do we want to see where the black businesses are? I'm sure that most of us would love to be a part of supporting those businesses when we find out where they are and what they're doing. And it's a constant, like Buddy's saying, constant kind of thought of like, put that in your head first. I got to go buy something. Let me figure out if there's a black business around that I can. Where can I go to find that information to frequent that business? There's a lot to talk about there when it comes to that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Actually, speaking of that, shout out to Tony Johnson in the chat. She kind of giving a little story behind that, saying looked at it here and there, but mainly for essentials like contractors and services, which are the smaller categories there. But again, just to know that you've gone there and hopefully found what you're looking for using that site. But the fact that just and here's my point, and we can move on from here. Just the fact that the site is there, that you can do that you can the fact that the site exists, talking about revised black business registry, exists for you to be able to go and look for contractors is a good thing. But I'm kind of hearing some negative energy, around this. And my question when we have these conversations is, to be honest, like, what do y'all want? And not just, you specific, just us in general. Like, what do we want? We say we want black owned businesses, but we get mad when, well, Willie Barney's counting himself 4 times. He owns, if he owns 4 businesses, why not count? Why not boost our numbers the most we can?
yeah.
What's the problem? Like, what do we want? And what does it look like?
And are we prepared? Like what Gary Clark was saying in the chart,
Yes,
is being
yes.
prepared to capitalize on resources is the key. While there's growth in business exists, black businesses are less likely to have capital to hire staff, which is why you don't see a spike of jobs or pay average growth for sure. The industry that we're in where we're trying to do news and outreach, which is what First Guy Omaha is really about. We have to supplement it with video work, video services, and stuff like this, so that we can supplement the kind of work that we're doing. Because is there money in news and media? I mean, there's not a lot. We're kind of doing all the jobs because, and we have already gotten to the point in our business where we fleshed out. We need about 3 other people and we're just working on trying to raise the money to hire them. But that's kind of
Mhm.
par for the course for a lot of folks that are there. And same thing with us. Like, we definitely have dived into what we're doing and learning as we go, which is kind of the thing too. We're realizing at what point we weren't ready to capitalize on things, and then we're seeing points that we are ready, or in at the same time learning about where you can go to capitalize, where you can get help for that. That's all. It's all really a journey, but the journey started after I had to finally just be like, yeah, there's a lot of mess going on out here, but let me find out what there is out here too. Like,
That's
let me just go see what's up.
bro.
Let me see what's
Thank you.
happening there.
Thank you. That's the point, without diving too deep into it, just to throw this other story, we know what we don't want to see as far as the whole fair deal OEDC situation. I'm sure none of us is happy with how that is
Mhm.
playing out. Just the fact that a business that a lot of us were happy to have in our community, as far as fair deal, is now dealing with the situation in court, and the fact that it's another organization from our community is adding insult to injury. But again, this is something we know we don't want to see as far as businesses closing and having these kind of issues. But what do we want to see, and when do we stop playing defense? Because there are opportunities out there. But if everything is, oh man, they're out to get us, then we're never going to move. Like, when are we going to start? Okay, there's opportunity. Let's do this. Like, where's that energy? I would love to see that more. So
Capitalize on it for sure. Let's give a little
that's
update
it.
on the situation with Fair Deal. I don't know if most of you have heard, but there has been an update on that. Last time we talked about it, they were going to the judge decided it was going to go to trial. They're going to be speaking about this in front of a jury, and you got some information on that. The jury voted a certain way.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Again, it is ongoing. It's not all said and done at this point. But there is an update as far as the jury's ruling in favor of the Omaha Economic Development Corporation, aka OEDC. In their ruling, they found that the Fair Deal Cafe occupied its space illegally. However, the restaurant remains open for business as usual. There will be an appeal from Dave Pontos, who's the attorney for Fair Deal, saying that they're waiting for a final order from the judge based on the jury's determination. So in the meantime and in between time of all of that court action, again, Fair Deal is still open. So again, if this is a business that you frequent, if you're a fan of their food or just the energy, you might want to go and support while you can, because again, the court has ruled. It has the kind of gavel has been put down, and we're just waiting on the appeal kind of last stance situation.
Mhm.
But again, here we are, a situation where I don't think anybody wanted it to come to this at this point.
Yeah. Could be lots of questions there when it comes to that. I did. Mike Maroney, who is president of OEDC, was at the summit. I was actually did my due diligence again to go ask him about coming onto the show to have a conversation. And it seemed like at some point he will. He says that there's court going on and stuff like that, but at some point he will speak on this and he'll come to us to have a conversation. So that's positive. We'll be able to find out some of the things we need to find out on this. But as far as we're concerned right now, that's what the court said, that there was some there was some back rent that needed to be paid. I think according to Brother Pontos, they're going to be having to pay that to the court, not directly to OEDC. So that's what we're all the information really that we have right now is just coming from the fact that they are reporting on what happened with the court situation, and there still needs to be some conversation there. Definitely go check out 95.7 The Boss. I know that. Brother AJ Jackson is speaks to William King. They have a lot to talk about when it comes to that, so definitely go check them out on 95.7 The Boss and hear some of the story there, and get a little bit more info there. And as soon as we are able to talk to somebody from OEDC, we'll do that and just continue giving you some information on that. So appreciate you guys giving the information that you have and some of the inside information there too. Shout out to William King and everybody else that is a part of what's happening here. So appreciate that.
Man.
Just trying to dig back into this chat a little bit, so we
Yeah,
can
chat
kind
one
of sort some things out. Is there anything jumping out to you, buddy, that you're understanding here? I'm seeing Black Dynamite in the chat saying, I think about something I heard Senator Spivey say that had to do with support when what you want or need, and there is no representation in the roles you are in search of. Yeah, that's interesting. Also, Marlon Harrison said jealousy is a huge problem in our community. Interesting. William King is saying this increase in black business should reflect black media buys, jobs, bank funding, etc. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we'll have to look into some of the organizations that help with bank funding and stuff like that to see what's going on there. Also, Anthony Rogers, right? How can Gary say that? Gary's in the chat, so you can speak to him as if you're speaking in person. How can Gary say that black-owned business don't have the capital when OEDC and Empowerment Network are sitting on at least 40 million of the people's money? Don't know where you're getting that stat, bro. I'd like to see some receipts on that. We do know that OEDC is sitting on some money. We are getting reports of that, and that's the reason why we're trying to have them on the show to kind of ask about some of that stuff. But what are the reasons why they're sitting on it, and is there redistribution? He says maybe it's less about access to capital and more about how it's not redistributed in an equitable and transparent way. Again, like to see how it's not. I want to hear stories on how that is the case. Tisa Harden giving us a good morning, beautiful people, from the late riser. Appreciate you. We have a late show going on right now just because of accommodating the senator's schedule, so don't worry about it. You're right on time. Also, Tony Johnson is saying, and this is why we need a true black agenda for Omaha to document what is truly needed and connect it to resources available to see where gaps are. Follow the agenda so as community is on the same page. Like I said, man, I highly suggest you look into what Empowerment Network and Revive is doing, because they're doing exactly that, documenting what's needed, talking about what's needed. You might think that if you go to one of these meetings, all they do is talk about the good stuff, but that's not. They're talking about the gaps, what's needed, where those needs can be met, what organizations and resources we have out there to help some of those gaps and some of those needs. I would definitely check it out. Anthony Rogers Wright is talking about it's not jealousy, it's a lack of accountability for all the poverty pimping happening in our community and the silence of too many of the community who personally benefit from it. So we need to hear more from the community that is benefiting from it. We'll definitely try to reach out to some folks that have gotten help from some of these resources and talk about that too. William King is saying gatekeepers sit on many boards are a major problem, especially when you speak the truth about issues in the community on 95.7 The Boss. I now knock on the new doors. That's none black. I'm not sure what you mean by the last part of that sentence, but I definitely highly suggest everybody check out what's being talked about on 95.7 The Boss for sure. Let's figure out what's going on if there is gatekeepers. I know that there's a part of these stories that are being told by people who feel like they have been locked out of some of the things that are happening for whatever reason, and we have to kind of dig into each individual case to find out what the reason may be. Because I'm not
Mm-hmm.
seeing overall locking people out for locking people out's sake. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing more resources, especially for black business, and specifically black businesses, which was something that was it was something that was interesting and surprising to me. Is that when I'm listening to what Empowerment and Revive and all these other places have to say about resources for black businesses, they really are specifically talking about black businesses, even more than I hear anywhere else. Like, this is for black businesses. This is for these resources are for black business. This fund is set aside for black businesses. Okay, so we all maybe agree that that's the case, and some of us feel like there's some gatekeepers keeping some of those funds from some black businesses and not others. But why? Go ahead, jump in.
Yeah, the why, the why, and just the energy and the sentiment. This, and this is just my perspective, but this whole conversation, this whole vibe is reminding me of a story that Terrace Martin told about Curly and some game that Curly gave him about the difference between local artists and artists that had more success.
Man,
I think you know where I'm going
yeah,
with this, Paul. Terrace tells a story of Curly, how Curly, how he witnessed Curly growing up. If you don't know Curly Martin, talented, world class drummer, but you might not know him. He's not of the big names, as he's worked with all of them. But there's a blue collar artist energy where these artists know they got the chops. They know they're good enough. They know they deserve the look. They know it, but for some reason they don't get it. For some reason they don't get it. And maybe there have been times when they deserved that gig and just got overlooked for some reason, and they carry that energy with them. And that energy becomes them. Like, that energy becomes, now that's the energy they carry when they walk in the room. And then it becomes people just don't want to work with that artist because they have I know, that person playing up there, he ain't good enough. Like, I'm way better than that artist. But there's other things that you're missing, that you're not bringing to the table, and you're just ignoring that.
it's the business. Um, Curly Martin was a purist, and a lot of those guys are like, not. It's not just about he's not very good or I'm better than him. It's also he's venturing into other stuff. He was a jazz drummer, a purist, and we all know people that are that way, purists, and will not sell out what they consider selling out when it comes to in this example about music. Not really selling out, but also not understanding that the music business is the music business, and there's a business attached to that, and you have to do business as well. And business entails a lot of stuff: how it is that you're going to get paid, what you're going to demand for your performances, how you act, the soft skills that you have to have in business in order to deal with people, in order to be on the same level with people, in order to do business, be a person of your word, all the stuff that it takes to do business and have repeat business happen. Is a lot of times what a lot of people are missing out on, and I know that for a fact. And I also see a lot of people that do just like I did. I know I was this dude who came up with a bunch of good ideas all the time, didn't have any of the backing, any of the resources, any of the planning, anything that was needed to execute those ideas. And so, I would go and say, this is the help I need, and then they would say, well, you have nothing ready. I can't give you help yet. You got to do this. You got to do that. Some people didn't even give you the info on what you got to do, and you just had to go figure it out. We've all had to go through some of that stuff. So I totally get where you're coming from, buddy, with that. I think it's super interesting, because that is the case. That we have seen that. We have seen that. Curly Martin's name is all over the place. Matter of fact, while we're talking about it, I wanted to jump in there real quick to give a shout out to Make Believe Studios,
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just celebrated their 10th anniversary. They said they recently celebrated their 10 years of Make Believe at our current location, Velvet Portraits. If you know about Velvet Portraits, you got to check it out.
Man.
Uh, with Terrace Martin was the one of the first things we ever did in this room. I'm proud of Make Believe 2.0, and I'm very excited to show you all Make Believe 3.0. Shout out to him. Shout out to giving honor to Curly Martin and some of the projects that came out of Make Believe, and Omaha Legend, and things that are going on right now. I feel like are in the spirit of what he used to talk about as well. And also he was a very, very important person in Omaha, Nebraska. But so is his son Terrace, who taught us the other side of
Amen.
this, the business side of it, which I think is incredible. So we appreciate that. Just learning from this idea. I am definitely learning this more and more every time I engage. How ready I have not been, and how and there's a difference. If I go somewhere, say I want to open up another business, I'm going to try to go to get funding from a bank. Most of the time, they're going to turn me down for not being ready. Most of the time, I'll get turned down, even if you are ready. How many times have we experienced that? Then there's other organizations, especially that have been connected to the Empowerment Network, for instance, that I've gone to and said, "This is what I'm trying to do." They said, "Well, you're not ready here, but here's the way that you can get ready. Here's what we can help you do to get ready." Because they have to have that as a business model for what it is they're trying to do when it comes to funding, or it comes to any of these things, to follow regulations and so on and so forth. DED, the ARPA funds, is a good example of this. Anthony Rogers right in the chat is saying the ARPA funding, Paul, not redistributed in a transparent or equitable way. I disagree. It's been absolutely transparent. We have been part of what's going on with that. He said Empowerment Network has gotten $10 million from the ARPA money. They absolutely have. And if you add on to the rest of that sentence, where a lot of that has been distributed, because that's also shown as well. You have to talk about it. You got to also just talk about the fact that they are done the work it takes to get that money, and then they give it back out to the network. That's the whole point of that. We're one of the businesses out of 42 other businesses that have gotten money from their win, from their win. Just on sheer, we have this master plan. We're involving all these other businesses. Here's what it is, and they did the work, and they got the loot, and those other businesses are thriving from it. And one of the jobs that I got now is to go and talk to a lot of those businesses out of the 42 to talk about exactly what that infusion of money did for them. How did that work? So is it the lack of transparency, or is it a lack of us? Is it a lack of transparency? Is it a lack of their ability to report on it on a way that we understand, or is it us not going to look at what is out there? Because like I say, we're part of it, so I see the transparency firsthand. What does that mean? So I think that it also takes some of our buy-in as well. We have to buy in as well. We have to be a part of that and go find out, go ask questions, show up at these places and talk to people personally, and so on and so forth. There's a lot here that's missing, that we can easily just dismiss and leave the money on the table, leave the experience on the table, leave the resources on the table, and just chalk it up to it didn't happen for certain people, or it didn't happen for me, and so there's corruption everywhere. It's not cut and dry.
Amen.
I mean,
Yeah.
people like you, especially Anthony Rogers, right? That are you got to know that people have it's not just these people are doing everything wrong against us, and there's nothing happening in between. There's nuance. There's people there's things that are happening that could be better. There's things that are happening that are better. It's not just that cut and dry. I mean, we all know that. William King is saying we miss out on funding because businesses don't know black media isn't being used as a conduit and a facilitator to get this information out on a consistent basis. Yeah,
Agree.
we're in that realm too, bro. We exist why you exist. Same thing. We're black
Right.
media trying to get that word out. And you're right, it's not utilized enough, and we don't have enough. That's why we keep on bigging up everybody else's podcast. Shout out to Big Mama, who's doing a podcast. Shout out to Terry Sanders, who's doing a new podcast. We need more people reporting on these things and talking about them for sure. And then asking some of these businesses, black and all businesses, to utilize black media in order to get the word out for sure. I think that's absolutely a mission of ours to do, especially when it comes to some of these black businesses that are being listed, like on the Revive site, for instance. I appreciate everybody jumping
Yeah.
in.
Yeah. Yeah.
We kind of diverted from our plan here today in order to have this discussion with y'all. So I'm excited that there's some momentum. This is obviously something that you guys are feeling very strongly about, and I love it.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. Just to spur conversation. And I was just gonna say, even if we don't agree with everything being said, we're not here for that. We're not here to just agree with everything. I appreciate everybody sharing your thoughts on this, and obviously, this is a conversation we're going to continue to have because, yeah, all the concerns that everybody is putting out, understood.
Yeah.
Understood. And our whole aim is to figure it out. You know what I mean? To get to the bottom of it and to get to what it is that we would actually like to see, and get on the offensive out here and not be so defensive on everything. Which again, it's understandable, but let's score.
Yeah.
Let's
I mean,
score.
we got to be both. You play offense and defense.
Right, 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 right,
And I say for me it was a mindset. For me it was a mindset. Like there are some organizations out here especially during this administration in our country, in our nation, that I'm like, I don't
yeah.
even care to go try to do nothing with. I know they out to get me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
got
yeah,
no
for sure.
trust. And that's easy for me to say in general for a lot of things. So it's actually a tough move for me to dive in and go, let me go find out with this kind of attitude of this. You could be out to get me if you want to. I'm still going to try to figure out how to get this money off the table. Like you don't got to do it for me because you like me or because this is supposed to be for me or any of that. What do you have and how can I get it if that's what I need to do? Like walking into these situations with this attitude, how can I utilize these resources? They say this is what the resource is for. How can I utilize that? As soon as they tell me no, I'm going to be like, why? And if it's something that I can do, change, or fix, then I'm going to do that in order to continue on with it, not just be like, you just should give it to me. There's been a lot of that. There's been a lot of that, especially with the ARPA funds. The ARPA funds told us this from back in the day when the whole stuff started, 2021. There was so many people in our community just give us that since you got it. And that was not, we had to learn, no, there's some stipulations here. You can't just come and be like, well, you should give us that. But are you ready? Is your business ready? Do you have a plan for it? It's not, the ARPA funds were not charity. It was not like a nonprofit situation. You're supposed to use those funds to develop your company, and you need to see that specifically. We did the same thing. We walked in there with the same thing. Like we so used to what goes on in the nonprofit industrial complex that we were just like, is this grant money that we're talking about here? No, it's not grant money. It's supposed to be for a thing. You have to use this money for a certain thing. So we had to learn it and really kind of understand it. People like Willie Barney and those guys at Empowerment Network that went for some of those big dollars. You know, we think about also Charles Drew got big dollars. We think of Malcolm X Memorial Foundation got big dollars. These are people who were ready at the time to go ahead and they've been working with the state on getting state funds for that. Before that, they knew the application process. They knew all the things, and they had the clout to be able to say, hey, this is all the work we've been doing. So let's do some bigger work. But that money did not get to them for them to put in their pockets. They didn't get $10 million to put in their pockets. They got $10 million because they said we were partnering with 45 other organizations and companies and people to be able to enhance black business, especially in the black community. And that's what they won the money for. And that's what's been happening. So,
Also, what kind of comes to mind in this is what we're dealing with generationally. Let's remember that this money, first of all, is some of the largest investment we've ever seen in our community.
man,
So, of course, we're going to have some growing pains in our community with dealing with this, with trusting it. All of this to this level is new. With that said, it's not a big level. Like you keep saying big money. 10 million ain't big money when you talk about the investment in other communities.
that's true.
These kind of numbers are kind of, normal in other communities.
Yeah. And I also think, like I wasn't going after their 10 million. You know what I'm saying? Like what it is that I'm doing wasn't a big enough ask for that. I know that they have been working on that though. And the fact that that's been distributed, that they are also working with other organizations to get them some of that 10 million. I just don't like you were saying earlier, like I don't know what you want.
That's my main question. Like what is the vision that we actually like? What do you want to see?
Yeah.
Like, yes, we can point to many things to be outraged about, but what's the play? What do we want to see in the affirmative? Because focus on that and it will manifest.
That's real. We are past 9:00 now. It is 9:04 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. And we are doing a late show today. This is 8 to 10 today instead of 7 to 9 like usual. And that's so that we can accommodate the schedule of the senators. Senator Ashlei Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney is going to be joining us here shortly. and we will be getting questions ready for them. So please get your questions ready for them as well. I see Brother Jay Hanna in the chat is asking about microTIF. I'm glad you brought that up
Yeah.
the other day. He said, "Good morning. Hoping you'll ask the senators about how microTIF works." Yeah, we absolutely will. Appreciate that very much. Also in the chat, I'm seeing some new names. I'm seeing Kadra Hagens.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming through. Says, be proactive in researching what resources are out there. Set yourself business up to be able to apply and receive. That's an important one. Pursue the resources. Connect with the providers. Connect with those who have received the resources. Get your credit together. I mean, these are
Man, all of that.
just these are some of you read off my to do list for this company. This is exactly what's up. A lot of doors will open to you when you play the game. A lot of people don't want to play the game, but you got to play the game when it comes to that. And the fact that we have resources out here that are more, they lean more towards us than mainstream resources. I just don't want to, I want to pass that thought up. Tisa Harden says, I think the breakdown is the community doesn't know where to get the information, and it seems to be folks working in their own little side loans. We have
silos.
Silos probably. Yep. We have side loans too. You're right.
Yeah, right.
We have a major need for mass communication spot that all money is coming into the community can be reported on. True.
Yeah.
True. But I mean, we also can go find that information pretty easily. So, are we talking about how the information is presented to us in the easier fashion, or are we talking about what we really want to know and why do we really want to know it or need to know it? If we're not going for it or whatever, I don't know. Like I have to think about what my motivation is to go find out how much money is coming into the community and how much is not coming to me, even if I'm not asking for it. I need to find that out first. I need to figure that out for myself first. Anthony Rogers Wright says, I think everyone should pick up Dr. Matthew C. Stelly's books on North. Oh, okay. I'll definitely continue. I don't know about those. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. He gives the title up further. I was trying to figure out. He says detrimental reliance and the keys to empowerment in North Omaha. I believe both are still available at the African American bookstore in North O. Okay.
Word.
Okay. Hey,
Definitely gonna look into that. Appreciate that.
Hey, we're all about book suggestions.
Angel Stark says that's the key. Readiness. I think people need to have community around constant growth and doing the work together. That's what we are trying to do with this exchange too. Maintenance. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. And there's more opportunities coming. I mean, we still got the iHub, which we can get into with Senator McKinney a little later on. The Inland Port Authority is really just gearing up, just getting started.
Word.
So there's other things out there and more coming. Really, I know a few other people working on some projects that kind of deal with incubation, collaboration, and business development. So again, a lot of opportunity out there. Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in mind.
Terrell McKinney is already in the chat. Senator Terrell McKinney, some respect on his name. Appreciate you. He says there's also a lack of collaboration, and everyone wants either to do the same thing or be the face of something instead of looking at the bigger picture. I appreciate that you brought that to my attention as well, because I think that's the kind of attitude I had about Empowerment Network when I first was looking into them, that they wanted to be the face of something or we had to do that their way. I didn't really realize that that organization is made up of a network, which is a bunch of people doing things the way that they're trying to do them and trying to figure out how to collaborate. So a bunch of lanes, like we always talk about the lanes of change. There's a bunch of lanes. People are in their own lane, but they're figuring out how to be on the same freeway and be able to interchange and switch lanes and move in and out of the lanes in order to make some kind of progress. So one example I can give is in the network. Hayes and Associates is in the network, and I didn't learn about them until I looked a little bit more into some of the businesses of the network. I at the time needed to figure out what's going on with my books. We needed to figure out we needed some accounting help, and what I wanted to do was I didn't even know where to start to go try to find that. But at the time I was looking into this Empowerment Network and who was associated with that network, and everybody who I talked to was giving me names of people over at Hayes and Associates. Shout out to Davita, shout out to the people that are over there. Hey, even Frank Hayes, giving us names of people, and then and I was able to look into their company and be able to utilize their resources, and that's who I'm working with now. So it was for me a matter of like who's even out there, what's even out there. It was kind of refreshing to be able to talk to some folks and be like, this is where we're at, and they're like, hey, a lot of businesses that are new businesses are at that stage. There's no problem. We got something for that. Let's try to help you get here and get there. And that was the thing that really impressed me about some of these organizations in the network. So learning that, and then getting what I got to get up to par in order to be able to receive some of the help and even receive some of the dollars. Like it hasn't been our goal to go here just to receive dollars. It's been our goal to go here and understand what resources are out there for people who want to go get the dollars, their own dollars, which is the biggest part of that as well. I don't know.
And not just dollars, but just, the affirmative. Like, again, I keep asking, what would you like to see? I would like to see, having enough Black businesses where we can go support each other and circulate the dollar within our community and do all the things we know we're supposed to do, which looks like this: having a Black business registry, having a place to know where to go. Not just, you know what I mean? Like just knowing what's out there so we can be aware of each other in order to collaborate with each other. We can't do that if we aren't aware of each other or don't trust each other, which I know is a lot, harder said than done, or a lot easier said than done. But yeah.
There you go. Appreciate you. Anthony Rogers Wright giving us more information on that book. He said, according to Dr. Stelly, between 1975 and 1997, $200 million was dedicated to North Omaha, and he asked, where is all the money and what can be shown for it? Both salient questions. I love that. I can't wait to dig into that for sure. Yeah. That just also goes to show me between 1975 and 1997, 200 million, that time frame. And you just think about what just happened with the 400 million that the senators brought in. You can see how significant that was of a situation to come in as fast as it did as well. This is a significant amount of money that just happened with the NSOR situation, the ARPA funds and everything that just happened. So yeah, there's still questions to be answered there, but they're easily answered. You can go look up all that information, who got the money. You know how many calls I've gotten has been like, hey, we know that you guys got some money, so maybe you can come do this now. I was like, yeah, we got some money, and that money was we applied for it a certain reason, and we got to use it for that. So we don't just got extra money sitting around to do your project. Like so many calls because people have looked at the list, saw our name on there, and called us up. It's not hidden. It's not hidden what's going on. As a matter of fact, there's already articles out there of people who have messed up with the money, abused the money. Yeah, we're gonna get into that at some point as well. But right now, we're gonna get into a break because I need to take a little sip of the drunk shit.
Sniff the beans a little bit.
It's been exciting. It's been exciting. I appreciate it. I'm happy that we got this kind of vibrant discussion going on with everybody and understanding some things too. I appreciate you guys' point of views and information you bringing out. We even got book recommendations in this conversation. Everything. Love it.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, somebody asks a media list. Somebody asks a list of all the media partners, all the media outlets out there. And Revive has a pretty good list. We're on it.
Hey, Revive hit us about that list. Revive sent out a deal a few years back for an event that was happening, and Willie Barney. If you don't know this, Willie Barney started in media, so he is all about understanding that what we are doing is important. So he sent a list out of some media conglomerates, some people that he wanted to hire about to promote a certain thing, and I saw. 95.7 The Boss was on there. We were Mind and Soul at the time, I believe. No, we were First Sky. They were also forward thinking when it came to influencers. We're on that list. They were paying influencers. This was 3, 4, 5 years ago, and to me, they've always kind of been on the forefront of saying this is what we need to happen. Now, we haven't had enough investment in Black media in general in the first place until we can build out something like 95.7 The Boss to be as big as is the iHeartRadio or something like that. I mean, he's pretty big already. So it does to me, it's like it is a situation where, like, do you tune in to 95.7 The Boss? Like, again, where do we buy in at? 95.7 The Boss is out there. 95.7 The Boss talks about Black businesses all the time. Commercials run on his channel all the time Where you think we heard the Rib Shack the first time? It was
Right.
95.7 The Boss. So we would all love to expand more people coming to black media and saying, hey, we want to buy some advertising with you because we know that you have an audience. But at the same time, where's the audience? Where do we tune in at? How many times a week do we listen to 95.7 The Boss? How many times a week do you tune in to First Sky? Who has a Omaha Star subscription to the newspaper? How much do we buy in on all that? Because the more we buy in, the more we can get folks to buy some advertising and be able to speak to us. It's just the nature of the game. Buddy, what's this link we just put in?
Yeah, that link is the link. That's what people are asking for. This is the link to the media partners and media businesses from the Revive magazine business directory. So there you go.
Brother Lee, thank you so much for that. I was sitting there thinking there's another radio station I'm forgetting. 87.9, bro. 87.9 is doing the big work. Shout out to all the folks over at 87.9. They ain't just bringing you the music these days and bringing you the party, but they didn't open up brick and mortar. They got a club now. They're doing they got club night. They're interviewing candidates. Shout out to DJ Mr. Soul. Like there is black media out here. And we are slowly working on trying to build this out enough to be able for people to be able to come and advertise with us. But we got to have the numbers. Y'all have to support black media in order for us to be able to say, we got this many people listening to us. This is what we will charge for the advertising. It's all a game. But 87.9 is in the game too. You got a business, I'm going to tell you right now, if you got a business, we got a package. 95.7, The Boss got a package. 87.9 got a package. Terry Sanders got a package. Omaha Star. There's ways that people can do this. I feel for William King out here saying that, like, support black business. This is our job. We're going out here trying to get this information, bring this information back so you can feel like there's some transparency here with what's going on in our community. That's why we exist. It's the only reason why we get up in the morning and do this.
Man, that's it.
We'll take a quick break, man. I appreciate everybody coming on through. That's right, Omaha Star for sure. Appreciate everybody coming through, having this conversation. This is one of those ones we're going to be talking about for a while. I'm like, me and Buddy going to get off the show like, this is why we do it. What just happened?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. We are still talking to the senators, Senator Ashlei Spivey, Senator Terrell McKinney, coming up shortly for the Senator Cypher. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God. Stay tuned, y'all.
Hey. Welcome back.
First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be Buddy the God. Somebody said earlier, KFAB has a section on their channel where they talk about new businesses. I was wondering how many black businesses they talk about in that new business section. I wouldn't imagine a whole lot. It is KFAB. It is KFAB. KFAB. I don't know if you're aware of KFAB. I think it's an AM station, right? AM station that's pretty.
Yeah.
And I believe Stothard got a show on there now. Is it?
Yep. I actually think she just interviewed Aaron Hansen on there.
Right. Shout out to everybody that made comments on Friends of First Sky Omaha when we posted that. And I guess the mayor's office is just like, hey, yeah. Thanks for the inquiry. So that was interesting. And Miss Erica Fell hit us up on that post and was like, hey, didn't you reach out to Stothard back in the day? And it was like, yeah, we didn't really get we once. Once. You know how I do, man. I can't.
We ain't gonna check.
I'll ask you to come on the show one time. If I don't hear nothing from you, then we just will talk about you when. I'll do a whole bunch of chasing. But we did say it was interesting because on that very post they were talking about, come on, Mayor, why don't you come on and be transparent and this and that. We're just like, well, he'll be on our show on the 17th.
Yeah.
So I don't know about KFAB. We got a monthly meetup with the mayor. He will be here next Friday on the 17th. Shout out to Mayor Ewing for participating in our monthly meetup with the mayor. Yeah, man, we're in a special time right now where we get to speak to some senators and the mayor and some people that are helping run things. Also, some community members that are really doing the thing, man. Every time I hear that word Black Agenda, I think Tony Johnson said it. I think of Black Agenda Alliance. What they got going
Man.
on, it's about time for us to check in with Captain Q, Brother
Yeah,
Kasim.
yeah.
See what's moving, what's going on as well. So there's a lot here still happening. It's actually a really thriving community when you think about all the players, all the things that are going on. So I appreciate everybody coming on through. Appreciate everybody who's bringing the comments and bringing the ideas. Let's
Yeah.
keep looking for them. They're out there. They're out there. When we're asking for the list, I'm not gonna, I'm not trying to read nothing into anybody's comments. You can. It's hard to read context from a comment. So somebody can be
Yeah, yeah.
where's the list where we can find, and I can, in my mind, she's going, well, where the list at then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, right, right,
Like,
right, 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 right.
I'm not gonna read that into it. She's just saying, where is the list? Well, let's try to find the list and pull that list out and take a look at it. And about the list that we posted there, the Revive Omaha magazine business directory. Every time when they talk about it, they talk about please add your business to the directory. Please,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a living document. It's something they're constantly going on. And I remember looking at it at one point and was realizing we wasn't on there. But why would I assume that they were just going to put us on there? We got to tell them we got to tell them put us on there. So if you have it, I mean that's kind of where our efforts went. We still collect list of Black businesses, but I'm going to always, when I get that list, be like matching it up against the Revive list and see if they're already there. Most of the time they are.
Yeah.
Most of the time they are. So again, man, like I really feel like the first priority here, like let's go look at the list. Like I got to get them. We're sitting here talking about it and even preaching it, and I feel like every day though I still got to think, well, I got to go buy something today. Where should I get it from? If it's not like a Black business on top of my mind, somebody down the street, somebody I frequent or whatever, then I got to kind of put a little extra thought into where's the businesses at. And then after that thought, I got to go where can I find the businesses? Oh, I do know about Revive. I'm gonna go check out the Revive guide, but that's not something I do on a daily basis either. I got to fight to remember that, to utilize what's there. And I think that's really like what's up. I'm not going. I had to stop complaining until I utilize what's there. If I utilize what's there and I still feel like I'm not getting nowhere, I'll go back
Yeah.
to complaining like right away. I promise.
Let's talk. Then yeah, let's talk.
Let's talk. 8:22. I'm sorry, 9:22. If you believe in the concept of
Yeah, man.
time, special show that we're doing from 8 to 10 today to accommodate the senators coming on shortly. Before we get there, buddy, I know that we have spent a lot of time not talking about
Yeah.
the stories that we presented. So let's jump into them before our guests come on.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate it. Spirit, and definitely gonna have to pick this back up on a later date. But yes, there are other things to talk about. Kind of as you've seen on your screen during the break. Six to dismiss. Setting up for our senators coming on. Think about again a lot of lanes, 7 lanes in total that we've kind of focused on, but. While we're following the money and getting into the economic power of things, definitely have to also think about the political power of things. And again, we are weeks away now from our midterm primary. So yeah, man, for those of you who may have just renewed your license, I definitely wanted to kind of jump into that. Kind of just warn the people. So you might need to double check your license, especially again if you just renewed, if your license expired. That good old expiration date caused you to get a new one. There's been a misprint that is actually may cause some people not to be able to vote. Again, the Nebraska DMV, according to WOWT, is saying that some of the new licenses that it issued are not real ID compliant due to a printing error. According to reports, an Omaha man is one of potentially hundreds impacted by this error. Mr. Vince Grace says that, again, he just, regular renewal process, license expires, you go fill out the application, go to the DMV, and you get your mail back. But what he said was that he realized his ID again was not real ID compliant. Grace was born in Pennsylvania and was thrown off by the question, saying the only way that he could fix the error was to get a new ID. He had to return to the state licensing office on Birch Street another second time and go through the process of signing up for a new one. Again, the Nebraska DMV told Channel 6 that some of the cards were misprinted and that hundreds of customers who went to service in Omaha, Lincoln, and Fremont were likely affected. So again, if you're in the Omaha, Lincoln, or Fremont areas and you just got a new license, just got to renew, possibly preparing for upcoming elections, you might have to go back, double check, make sure you are real ID compliant. The DMV says the misprint occurred between March 9th and March 20th. Those who have renewed their licenses during that window are urged to double check their status. And again, it doesn't just stop there. We've heard stories of people being purged from voter rolls. We've heard of people's polling places being moved and not being um, um, notified until the last second. So again, there's a lot of, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Again, we're getting into some of the plants, some of the dinos, some of the ads. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with this here election, not to mention the possibility of ICE getting into the fray. So yeah, again, just a lot of weirdness going on, or maybe it's par for the course with U.S. elections. But the point is, get ready, stay ready.
Well, I just said I have a hard time not feeling like this is a conspiracy. Like, you know what I
Man,
mean?
okay.
We got this election coming up. We had to go through this whole thing where you had to show your ID too. I remember that was a fight a couple years ago to have to. Now we got to show
Mm-hmm.
ID. Then Trump comes in. Now everything has to do with this real ID symbol that you got to have on it. And all of a sudden, the DMV has done something I've never heard the DMV ever do before, which was misprint a whole bunch of licenses, which is just like it
Man.
got me going. "Yeah, that's convenient."
And
Yeah,
to mention that might not even be good enough if they pass the Save Act and get your birth
we didn't
certificates
even
ready.
talk about the Save Act.
Man,
Hot mess. Here's the real ID. There's an arrow pointing to this star. If your ID does not have that star on there, then you do not have a real ID. This is what they've
man,
been. This is the misprinted one here. As you can see up top, it says not acceptable for real ID official purposes. For whatever reason, this they decided to or they made a mistake here and misprinted the licenses. Went back maybe to the old version. I don't know. I don't know. This don't even look familiar to me here,
man.
so I'm not sure.
Right.
But
And it's not just that, travel too.
yeah, because they've changed they changed the situation where before you could get on the plane without the real ID, even traveling state to state. Now they've upgraded that to where now it's not just now you gotta pay a fine and get searched and do all this stuff because you don't have a real ID. Now some states won't even let you travel to them without the real ID symbol on it. So again, there and we're just painting this in the reference of the voting season that's coming up because now you got to have your real ID in order to even vote in this state, and let alone everything else that this means for travel and everything else. But again, here's the star, the gold circle over here with the white star in the middle of it indicates that you have a real ID. We keep on saying real ID, but like it's an acronym for something. REAL, real ID, I believe.
Hmm.
And so if you have something that says not acceptable for real ID official purposes, or you don't have that star up there, then you have the wrong thing. You got to hurry up and go get it straight because election season is coming up and you got to use it.
Man. So there you go. Just a little warning. Letting the people know. Again, election season is upon us. We're weeks away again from the midterm primary, and trying to stay on top of not just all the voting rules, all the changing processes, and just all the hurdles we have to jump over, but also trying to stay on top of all the candidates coming out. Again, not really too sure what's going on, but there's some controversy surrounding John
Hmm.
Kavanaugh's race. Again, trying to dive into it. We've had some conversations. Shout out to Senator, or not Senator, man, but Elder, Brother Preston Love Jr., who kind of tipped us off about Don Bacon's race. Again, we're calling it six to dismiss. We were kind of overlooking Don Bacon's race, but he reminded us of the importance of that, and just the sheer fact that really all the races we have to pay attention to, not just the six to dismiss that we're talking about, but there's a lot of attention being pointed towards John Kavanaugh's race, and again, his bid for federal Senate. And for those who haven't heard, there's some controversy. There's actually an ad going around that's linking Trump or linking Kavanaugh to Trump. This coming out of Channel 3 KMTV, as far as again, uh, a lot of the attention being surrounded not just around John Kavanaugh's race or John Kavanaugh himself, but the race in general. Again, he is running for the Democratic as a Democratic candidate for Nebraska's second congressional district. Again, um, pardon itself. One of the viewers of this Democratic candidate for Nebraska second congressional district, excuse me, John Kavanaugh says there's a classic saying you can judge somebody by who their enemies are, and this in an instant, excuse me, where Mike Johnson is spending big money. Again, talking about the ad that's going out. Again, trying to connect him to Trump MAGA agendas. According to Google's Ad Transparency Center, the video has reached as many as 225,000 people since March 31st, 2026. The mailer and similar videos were paid for by American Action Network, which, according to 3 News Now, Mary Nelson tried to reach out but could not reach anybody from the organization. But again, at some point, ads that began circulating in and around the Omaha area, and the organization launched ads elsewhere, where which it described as a $10 million campaign ahead of tax day. So again, there's definitely some energy, some finances, some investment being pointed towards John Kavanaugh's race. But yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Brother Anthony Rogers, right? As far as what I'm seeing, it's a mess so far. Not just that, but just the election in general.
Very much so. We'll dig into this a little bit more. We'll even reach out to Senator Kavanaugh, see if he would like to come onto the show. There's a couple of articles that are out there. Headline: State Senator John Kavanaugh defends U.S. House bid against risks to state filibuster. Also, Nebraska Democrat reads different motives for conservative PAC attack ads. So he definitely has some things to say on it. We'll dig into those articles and more on this particular subject. It's going to be something that we need to talk about because of the fact that if he does win the race, it's one less person in the legislature that might vote a certain way, and they're feeling like the blue dot will go away. Some feel like the blue dot will go away if he does get elected. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Brother Kavanaugh, and we'll have to get to it. But before we get to that, we're going to get to our special guest that's waiting in the wings. Maybe he has some insights on some of that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Terrell McKinney has joined us. Good morning. You must be praying. What's happening, bro? You
Morning. How
there?
y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Got a little got your sticky here, your internet there. Make sure you got your windows closed and stuff so your internet can come through a little bit.
I know.
Okay, it seems like you're evening out there.
Close everything.
Okay, it looks like it's better now. We can hear you. We can see you.
No,
and not anymore. Boy, I tell you. I tell you what, boy. Now we did some special situations here with trying to make sure that the tech is going to tech right. Let's see. Let's go back to it. Okay. There you are. You in there? Wow.
he's from home today, y'all. I mean, we try to switch it up.
Yeah, man.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Can't see you.
All right. You can't see me? I can see y'all. I don't know what's going on. Technology hate us.
We can hear you.
I don't know what's going on, man.
Man, and you're not at the Capitol today, right?
No, I'm at home. It should work. I don't know I just got on my phone, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay, try to restart your phone. Looked like the phone was working until it went dark. I don't know why it went dark, but try to restart real quick on the phone and see if that works.
All right. 1 second.
All right, appreciate it. Sorry about that, y'all. As you know now, this is kind of a regular feature a little bit. Is us trying to get this tech right for the senators, man. I don't know if they got the phone tapped. What's going on? Let me call Dre.
Yeah.
Got your phone tapped.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Hey,
what's happening?
Trying to figure it out, man. Trying to figure it out. But again, preparing for our senators. Definitely, if you have some questions, I don't know if Jay Hanna is still around. I know he's asking about microTIF. Hopefully, we can get into that and a few other things budget wise here in a second, and try to touch on what they have going on.
There was also a question that was posed a little bit earlier when we were talking about LB 304. One of the chat chimers asked, is LB 304 tied to anything else? So remind me to ask that question there. We're always gotta try to find out, what's tapped into what when it comes to some of these bills for sure. Okay, there he is. All right, brother. I think we got you. How you
Yeah.
doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Not bad, man. Hanging in there. Just
Trying to make it
trying
happen.
to make it happen. That's right. Before we jump into some things, man, we lost
You still there?
we we lost your picture. So can you hear us? Wow,
No
this is
idea,
something else.
man.
Okay,
Yeah, we might have to just go with no video.
yeah, maybe can you hear us? Okay, man. Oh man. Okay, well let's see. Okay, he's back. I think we got you back, and now I think nope, we lost him, but we got Senator Spivey. Good
Hey,
morning. We
hi.
we're having some technical difficulties. Can you hear us? Are you good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, one down, one to go. Okay, here's
Jeez, this is my face is so big on here. Should have put on some makeup or something this morning.
oh, you look fine. It's all good. Here, we'll
That's all
even it
good.
out here for the. Let's see here if we can.
Senator McKinney, can you hear us?
He probably at his house, and let me tell you,
Yeah.
broadband access in the hood also does not work.
I guess
Just to be
we need to
clear.
really talk about this. I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
we don't have access. Like, they always talk about rural areas not having broadband. In North Omaha, we do not have strong broadband in certain areas, like Lake, 30th and Lake, 20, like it is. So anyway,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I agree. It might be the capital seems worse. When you
that's
guys
because
are
it's like
there.
an old building with like tons of cement and like ivory or something.
That's what I'm figuring something like that is going on. So we were happy that you guys were taking off and being home. Senator McKinney still working on it. If you can hear Senator McKinney, you might. I don't know if you're using your phone, then I would say maybe move closer to your
Modem.
modem. Yeah. Let's see if he.
Hey, brother.
Hey,
What's
Why
happening? What's happening?
you're trying to coordinate with me with my North Omaha shirt? This is for the bold though, for the North
Okay.
Omaha plant.
What's it say?
Um, Clean air, like no to the no more coal in North Omaha.
Oh, there you go.
There you
Where
go.
can we
There
get
you
those
go.
shirts from?
Senator McKinney and Precious.
Okay. No more coal in North Omaha. Love it. Love it.
It's,
The Christians have all the shirts.
yeah, so Bold, when they had the hearings with OPPD, they made shirts and all of that, and so of course I had to get a shirt. But yeah, so
That's what's up. Well, sorry that we're having all these technical difficulties again. Once again, we were hoping that they were going to be squashed today, since you guys are not at the
hey, I'm
unicameral.
doing good, so don't jinx me.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Yeah.
Right, you good.
Yeah.
So
And we haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, so definitely glad to have you. Definitely glad to have you. How you doing? How you been?
Good, tired. We've been working like 15-hour days at the ledge. We start at 9, so we have to leave here by 8.
mm,
And then we've been done 10, 11 o'clock at night. So it's been long days, but I mean, it's
yeah.
it's important and necessary work.
And you guys are off today. This is what is it? Why are you off today over there?
Easter.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Easter
Yeah,
reset.
so all of our staff and everything are off. They were off Friday and Monday. So those were our recess days. And then we're back in the ledge Tuesday through Friday, with hopefully us ending on Friday. But if there are what are called pocket vetoes by the governor, then we come back on the 17th. So we could be
Okay.
done on Friday.
Could be.
Well, with that said, what I guess potentially the last week of the legislature. How how you feeling about where we stand? Of course, we got to get into the budget bill here in a second, but many other bills making their way. Some things advancing, some things. How's it looking?
Yeah, I mean, a short session is hard. It's 60
Mhm.
business days, and that's what we were in. And so, I mean, it is really short. And so it feels like everything is getting crammed in at the end, which makes it harder to like fight things or know what's all in bills. And so, like, sometimes you'll just miss something because of the short volume of people's amendments that they're putting on bills, or again, just how the legislature is moving. The budget did pass. I had a bill in the budget. And and how the budget works, and it's kind of particular. So we budget on a 2-year cycle. So last year was the top of that cycle, and we passed a balanced budget. So we technically did not have to pass anything this year. It's good practice too, because some agencies are working in deficits, or they don't have enough money, or like there are federal changes, like say with Medicaid, that we need to address, right? So like it's good practice too. I'm a little disappointed in some of the decisions that were made around our budget, and some of the priorities and other bills around where we're moving just as a state around policy and practice. And so that was really hard, I think, in a short session to really unpack. And I think, hey, Senator, welcome back. Hopefully he can hear us. I think one of the other hard parts that at least I experienced, and I would say that Senator Roundtree and McKinney felt it too, is that these last couple of weeks there's been a lot of specifically like anti-Black tension, where we have been treated differently, and there's been conversation on the floor, conversation off the mic around that. That is like, it's always there, the undertones, right? Like microaggressions, and you navigate it. But to have to like sit in the explicit conversations and actions has been a little bit harder these last 2 weeks or so. So I think that's kind of what I'm holding as we get to the end of this.
Can you give us some examples of anything you want to call out?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a specific senator who I serve with on my committee that had an amendment, and that you're talking about it, and people are giving their perspective, and like other of our colleagues are like going at him, Senator Roundtree and I got on the mic and just gave our perspective, didn't even address it to him. And he specifically got back on the mic and asked only us 2 questions around what we meant and our remarks on the mic. And so then Senator McKinney got on and was like, well, why did you ask them? Like, why did you not ask any of the other people? And his reason was that we were sensible. The other people that gave remarks weren't. Okay. So then a couple of days later, Senator Roundtree had a bill that dealt with like accessible housing. And I mean, and he put a hostile amendment on Senator Roundtree's bill and wouldn't negotiate with him, even though Senator Roundtree was negotiating with partners, and it was coming at him. And then this came out of Urban Affairs, where Senator McKinney is the chair. That is his committee. And him and Senator McKinney exchanged words on the mic, and Senator McKinney had to tell him, like, I'm a man, don't talk to me like that.
What? You came in just in time, bro. I got to hear this story for real.
I'm talking about the anti-Blackness in the legislature.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and then I had a colleague while this is happening off the mic tell me, yeah, like these senators have an issue with Black people. And I was like, well, thank you for acknowledging that. Then went to go on and talk about Black people like I'm not Black, and I wasn't right there. So it's this weird dichotomy. I don't know what world I'm in when I'm there, but it is very difficult for me to be Black and a woman. Like, I think even though they treat Senator McKinney and Roundtree differently, the way that they respect them as men, I also don't get that. And so it is very hard sometimes. And you're like, I'm really here. Like, oh, this is really happening, so.
Wow. Senator McKinney, we got to hear it. We got to hear the story.
Oh, he might be frozen again.
You there?
Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
No. I'm here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We lost
All right,
you. We
let me
lost
turn
you.
the camera. So they have Can you hear me? Hear me though? No?
Yep. No, you good.
Oh, so Dover had started to ask Senator Roundtree a bunch of questions, which was unnecessary and just kind of just blatantly just picking at him for no reason. So then I get on the mic and I
Oh,
just kind of call it out. So then he asked me some questions, talking and like cutting me off, and I'm like, oh. So then I had don't talk to me like that. I'm not about to. We're not doing that today. Then he's to like backtrack his words, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean." This is like the second week in a row where I had to put him in his place about how he has approached, especially Senator Roundtree and Senators and me too. And like a lot of weeks ago, it was the only people he was asking questions was those two, Senator Spivey and Senator Roundtree, and it was like blatant obvious, and they wasn't even asking them. It was a bunch of other senators, and I'm like, so you conveniently picked these two individuals, but it's three other women that was calling you everything in the world, was scared, or you didn't approach them to ask them questions. And then he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it like that." I was like, "Well, maybe you didn't intend. Perception is reality right now," and it was offensive. And then he tried to say, Senator Roundtree didn't feel that way. So then he was like, come talk to him. So then we went over there, and Senator Roundtree was like, "Yeah, actually, it was disrespectful." And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry," but they don't care. They say sorry and then do it the next day.
wow.
Yeah,
We we
par for the
we
course.
kind of knew that you guys was going through that there, so it's really powerful to hear. Exactly, some of these things that are happening.
Well, I think, I mean, and I appreciate that I have Senator McKinney, like, and Senator Roundtree. Senator McKinney and I work a little bit more together. I have a little bit longer history. But it's like people don't understand what it's like on that side of the glass, right? And like to do that work. And yes, we want to. It's important. We hold that responsibility. And we also, need the kind support from our community because like we are literally fighting anti-blackness and like capitalism and all whatever other isms consistently. And we live, we have the lived experience and our identities that we hold. And so then when we come back into community and we get it from our own people, we be like, come on, y'all, like, like we need y'all to support us because we are literally fighting every day for our communities and like things that we cannot even communicate what we are trying to save and not derail. Like it is a lot. And so it's nice to have each other because we need that support system.
Most definitely.
That's it.
Speaking of
That's
support
it.
systems, I'm thinking of some of the other allies that you guys have in the unicamerals. There's too. We always see a certain cluster of people voting the same way, led by y'all, and I wonder about that too, especially with what's going on in the news with Senator Kavanaugh, and we're thinking about a lot of people are feeling like if he's running for office elsewhere, then if we lose him there, then we'll lose one more person that's kind of an ally to a lot of the things you guys are fighting for there. How is that affecting? How is his run affecting the strategies and things that you guys got going on there together?
Well, I think, oh, go ahead, brother.
I don't think it affects anything because I mean, technically speaking, if we're being real, they got the votes to change it right now, like by
True.
like numbers. So to me, it don't affect them because the reality is, if they actually wanted to do it, they would do it because they have the votes.
Right, right. So it's a little bit of a they're kind of hollering. They're making it seem like it's a bigger tragedy than it would be if he was not there.
Yeah, I mean it's just political because he's running in there. It's a crowded race, right? Like, and I think the larger question that we should be asking ourselves is why does one vote make a difference for this type of ideology, right? So if we're saying that seat and who holds that seat is value aligned, why are we not base building where we have, to Senator McKinney's point, the actual bodies in there to do it? Because there are also Democrats or progressive elected officials now, state senators, that are actively pushing policies that are harmful for our community, they are not value aligned. Whether you look at minimum wage, some paid sick, all the juvenile stuff, those things were led by Democrats. So I think we need to be real and tell the full story and not use it just for like campaign season. We need more people and not just 17. We really need like 25, 26 for them to be able to negotiate with us, and they have to be value aligned. Being a Democrat, being an independent, saying you are a progressive is not enough. You have to have a track record and you have to actually show up that way.
Or appreciate that.
Yeah.
Before I toss it to you, buddy, I just want to get one question out of the way real quick because Brother Jay Hanna has been asking this for weeks. He was asking the question about a micro TIF, and kind of was just wondering what that was, how it's going to be used. If you guys are pushing for that when it comes to developing North and South Omaha, can you explain a little bit about micro TIF, Senator McKinney, if you're still there?
Micro TIF is basically only used in Western Nebraska, pretty much. The city of Omaha doesn't use it. It's for smaller projects. It could be useful, but I think it's harder to use in a bigger city like Omaha. I don't think the dollars make sense in it, I guess, is what they're saying. So I don't know of anybody that's used it in Omaha. I know they use it out in Western Nebraska, like in North Platte and stuff like that. But right now, it's for smaller projects.
Wasn't there a push for it to be used more in North Omaha, just and not abused elsewhere?
Not necessarily TIF, more so just that's why Senator Wayne created the extremely blighted desert, but the city around that too. So that's the problem is like so much, but these systems find a way out of it all the time because extremely blighted was supposed to address the issue with them, misusing TIF in a way. But even so, the city blighted all the downtown or most of it to justify the street neutral. They find a way.
Right.
Brother Hannah's in the chat actually asking, does the Department of Revenue include micro TIF in their annual reports, or is that reported somewhere else, if you happen to know?
You're probably better off looking at DD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at a different level of government too. Like I would see what the city produces around how they use TIF as well. But yeah, I would say DED.
Okay. If we get any more information, Brother Hannah, we'll shoot it your way on that one. Appreciate your question. Buddy, I wanted to pass it over to you while we still have some time here in the show.
Yeah. Just in the last few minutes. Again, we're in the last week, as you stated, of the legislature or the session. And I did want to, first of all, touch on the budget. Of course, you mentioned that passed, but of course, it still has to make its way past Billing's desk. As far as cuts, what are we looking at as far as major cuts? We've been hearing a lot about the cuts. We know disability got some haircuts and things like that. Where are some of the cuts that are jumping out to you?
So just again, as a reminder, we did majority of the cuts last year. And so when people look at the budget, it might look like more action was taken. A lot of that action happened last year. And then we are looking at like the fiscal year 26, 27, and then going out. So just kind of just for folks, our budgeting process is different than like how you would like budget your house or a business or whatever. So we saw a lot of cuts last year, and the approach of the executive branch, which oversees all of the agencies, I believe their approach is to move more of government to be cash funded. So with the fees and fines that they charge versus saying, this is what we are prioritizing as a state, and this is where taxpayer dollars should go. Like to provide like a basic quality of life. Those are the things that you see majority of the cuts on that I don't think that they believe in, and where you see some of the shifts. And so, for example, there were cuts to the veteran services, specifically around housing and homelessness. We took additional money. So there were already actions taken, and then if there is money in what is called their cash fund, where they might charge a fee, or like there might be a tax that goes into that fund, if there is what is considered an excess balance, or that agency said, hey, we don't need all this money, it was proposed that we take it. And so that's where you see a lot of those changes. Corrections gave up a lot of money, actually.
Really?
I think corrections probably gave up 10 million from WEC. They gave 2 million from the post at NSP, another 5 million in operational savings just this year. So that's 17 million just from corrections, which I don't believe. So, like, for example, I had a bill. So WEC, the work ethic camp, is now an ICE detention facility. So ideally the federal government is paying for that. So I had a bill that took 5 million of their 10 million budget to go to reentry services and to still provide that type of funding and support to people that would have ideally been in WEC, and just in general. We know that reentry services are underfunded. That did not pass. And instead, they took all of the 10 million that was the WEC budget and put it back into our general fund, because that's where corrections budget comes from, is general fund. And so that was a savings to the state, even though we know if there's not correct programming, especially on the reentry side, really inside too, as people are coming back home, we know they're coming back home, they need the correct programming and services. They're gonna go back, and it's gonna cost us more. Right. So there's a number of examples like that where agencies have come back and said, oh, we have a balance. Oh, we have this. Another big hot topic for the budget was around the environmental trust. And so that is constitutionally set up and protected. It was with the lottery, where it went to certain conservation and preservation projects. And right now, for that money that comes from the lottery, it's a grant process. So you can apply for your project, and it's through a competitive process, and you're awarded. Well, what the governor did and what we did is that we said, okay, we're going to identify what projects could be applied for in the competitive grant process. And what we're going to do is move that amount of money to these other funds. And then from that fund, we're going to take the same amount and move back to our general fund. So it's robbing Peter to pay Paul with trying to get around the constitutionality of what we're doing. And so in order for that to stop, someone is going to need to file litigation, because we did that. We took money from the environmental trust, put into something else for a project that could be considered appropriate. And then we took that money that was already in that fund and moved it back to the general fund. So it's a lot of that. And we're doing all of this in the name of property tax relief that is not targeted. And then due to us not pausing or slowing down income tax, especially for those that are wealthy and can pay their fair share.
Wow.
Because if we pause the income tax in itself, we could feel the gap that we saw. We didn't do it as a body. So,
Senator McKinney, we were just going through the things that stood out from the budget, the way that things got peeled back. What stood out to you? Money for high-speed internet in the north side, I think, maybe.
Man.
I know I don't know what's going on. Sabotage. I guess what stood out to me was just the cuts. I would say a lot of the stuff that we didn't do, but I mean, what got in, I think Senator Spivey was, helpful in making sure some funds that were meant for North Omaha, still is coming for, development, but also for, the Family Resource Center stuff. So it was some good things in there that Senator Spivey helped protect, which is great, to make sure some of these projects that y'all were talking about earlier are successful and get done on time, and also making sure you go to them.
What was that last thing you said? Making sure what?
I think he said goes to them.
Making sure that money goes to them. Okay.
Yeah, like to those projects. Yeah. And thank you for that, Senator McKinney, because I always look at the negative. So like I was willing to die on this hill around Senator McKinney's Family Resource Center. So that was a bill passed last year that had the designation pilot, where it's really looking at how do you go upstream in coordination for kids that maybe are more vulnerable to becoming system impact, or for families that are navigating like just the implications of poverty and like disinvestment in our community. And HHS was not doing the project. They were trying to take funds from it, even though it was appropriated last year. So like that was a hill like I was going to die on for that to happen, because we know the difference that it makes. Like that's the whole point of policy.
Right.
And so there were some good things that were saved, actually.
I'm glad he brought that up too, because I wasn't thinking
Yeah,
about
I
that.
just was like all the bad stuff, you know, and I was like, oh, this happened, but like, oh yeah, this did it.
Some victories.
Yeah.
Some victories.
Yeah.
So
Appreciate
yeah, man. Appreciate Senator McKinney popping in and and letting us know about that. Man, we're kind of down to the end of it, reaching the last of it. So again, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. I guess before we get out of here, not really, definitely got to bring it up in more conversation. But this is just a story that we had on the list today, and definitely something I wanted to touch on as far as Unicameral Watch, a conservative group, calling out Governor Pillen. Did you hear about this? Did you see this?
I did, and I'm off of social right now, and I like had to get them off because you know algorithms, they always bring them up, and I hate when they like post me or say stuff. Like, and so, but I did see that. I did see they're mad about the no bid contract. They're mad about some of the conservative state senators and what they're doing. So, like, I mean, to their credit, they are equal opportunity on their page.
No, don't give them that. Don't give them that.
Nah.
They've been dragging their people just like they drag us. So
no, they drag y'all way more than they drag their people. Don't give them that. Don't give them that. I pay attention. I have to watch it. So, and I'm still on social. I got to see it. But like Buddy said, a clock can be right twice a day. So we'll bring it up when they are. But that's interesting that they because
it is very interesting.
But I think the no bid contract is a big deal, and Auditor Foley is doing his job, which I think is highly important to have that continuity again. Like we are a one party controlled state, and that is important to know. So like the executive branch, the legislature is super majority. Like all of these offices are Republican conservative elected officials. So also when they talk about, you know, the Democrats did this or who's responsible, well, you've been in leadership the last decade. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And so Foley, he puts out audits on everything. Like people should expect when there's a large amounts of money or initiatives and things, he's going to do his job. And I can appreciate that he has doubled down on this no bid contract and the implications and the inappropriate nature of this surrounding it. And there's investigation pending. Criminal investigation pending, and that's because of his work. And I think that is valid and necessary.
But is that who we were calling Elliot Ness Foley?
Yep. Auditor Foley. You got Lincoln
Axel Foley over here doing it.
Right. Yeah. Lincoln to Senator Spivey's point, Lincoln PD is or has been investigating the no bid contract. Again, a couple of million going to what seems to be a Pillen pawn, really. You know what I mean? Like, let's just call it what it is. A Pillen's friend getting paid in this situation. But again, Universal or Unicameral Watch, not just calling that out, they had a lot to call out, which is kind of hilarious. Really talking about how Governor Pillen handled the whole fire situation and how ranchers, as they say, are being sold out, which is something that, you know, it is funny to hear opposite ends of the political spectrum kind of coming to an end. Like, hey, same conclusion. We've been trying to tell y'all the grift is going on as far as what's going on with this land, the land grabs with all these fires, and now they're saying that Pillen is selling them out to big ag. They're calling out what's going on with the data centers. It's kind of interesting. Again, a broken clock is right twice a day, man.
Yeah. I mean, and again, I think it shows the importance of you can identify as a conservative, Republican, like whatever, but if they're not value aligned and their behaviors don't match, like there should be accountability. right? Like if I say this is what I stand for, I'm going to do, and I do the opposite, it should no matter my political affiliation or yours, if we're the same, that you say, hey, you didn't do this. And that's what I'm hoping more people engage in, of like, hey, they're not doing this. So it's really interesting. And if I were in the news, I would also put a request into the AG's office to understand their process for investigation, because they do have a process. And this also was recommended to be referred to the AG's office. So I'm not in the news. I don't run a news platform. But if I did, I would request that from the AG to get that on record around how they make the decision to pursue litigation or not, and the steps that they take.
Litigation.
Writing it down right now, since we are in the news. That's right.
And then another thing that I wanted to uplift, I know you kind of talked about this more so with Senator John Kavanaugh, like being an ally in his campaign. But I will say that there are colleagues of ours in the legislature that do stand up. And so, like, I love Senator Michaela Kavanaugh. And like, as we end this week, I am grieving her not being there. She and I serve on appropriations together. So we were like in the cave, like it's a 5-day committee, like together. And she will get on the mic and say the things of like, y'all are racist. And so we are going to not move past this bill until I feel like you're done. So it's nice to have someone that has the privilege that does that and uses it in that way, to call things out. Senator Duggan has been really strong and great. He's up for election. Senator Frederickson is up for election. So we have folks that are there, right, that are advocating and are using their positionality in a different way to say things that we cannot necessarily say in the same way, which is always helpful. So it takes all of us to do our part. So I just wanted to name that. I know we kind of moved on, but circle back to that before.
No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's always good to hear who's doing what there. That's what
Right,
what you're on
right,
for.
right.
So
I haven't even been watching the chat. What have people been saying? Have I been missing stuff?
the chat's been pretty slow here.
No.
Brother Jay Hannah
Yeah,
was
it's
asking
been
about that
pretty quiet.
question there. Go ahead.
No, chat's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, pretty quiet today.
Jay is my constituent, for the record. So
okay.
all great people live in District 13 is what I just want to say.
Hey.
I feel that.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. Appreciate
Your
that.
mom's in District 13? Hello?
Yeah. District 13 voters.
But you don't sound very excited about that. I think she's trying to get.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you better get a little bit more excited. I'm about to get you a t-shirt and yard sign and a whole bunch of other stuff about District 13.
Hey.
A black woman
hook
just
me
said
up,
your
hook me
mama
up.
doing something. You say, yeah, cool, all right, cool. Wait a minute.
But actually, speaking of the women's, before we get out of here, I did want to recognize. I did see that it's History Month. Again, recognizing women in Nebraska. That's adding to the history and the.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, that was March. Okay. I thought it was for April. So March was History Month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that. Well, happy belated History Month. And recognizing, again, you and Senator Kavanaugh, women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing the thing.
Senator Kavanaugh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, she did this thing that nobody's ever done with us before. She actually called and interviewed us.
I heard.
We got some footage of that we're gonna drop here pretty soon too. So we appreciate her efforts as well. Also, always.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I was going to say, I know we're getting to time, is this election is really important. And, I run a C3 and a C4, and we're doing a ton of get out the vote information right now. So getting folks registered in Nebraska from the data, because, data is data. There are about 94,000 model Black voters that are unregistered. And so our goal is to get 5,000 registered with our partners. So we have canvassers going out every day, get folks registered. The deadline to register is April 27th. However, we are telling people April 24th, so give you a little bit of time, because if you got time and the date will come and it'll be the 28th, and you're like, oh shoot, I meant to do this. So put the 24th in your head. You will see that on all of our material that goes out. We want people to be registered. We want to get as many folks register. So then we got to show up at the polls, which is the next part. And so
That
if
part.
people are interested in getting folks registered, we are paying canvassers. We are paying $26 an hour to canvass. So you can make some good extra money in the evenings. We will train you, give you everything that you need. But we are focused on North Omaha specifically, and again, Black model voters. And so this is going to be really important. And so I hope folks will come out. If you're interested in doing like a postcard writing party and just volunteering, taking some postcards to your house to send to people. But we're going to do this through the entire election cycle. First registration, then turnout for the primary, and then we're going to do it again, getting people registered for the general and then turnout for the general. And so, but put in your mind, April 24th, make sure you're registered, check your registration. If you need help, visit Black in Action Collective. Our website is biacne.com, and we have the link on our site so that you can register to vote, check your status, and all that.
Word. Appreciate
There you
that.
go.
That's the words. It's the words we needed right there. I'm glad you gave us some stats too. I've been wondering about, how many people out there are there that could be registering. And I'm glad you guys got a goal of 5,000 of those folks there. I'm going to put this in the chat there so they can go check that out. But thank you so much for that. We are a little bit over time, a lot over time, actually. And I appreciate you staying with us. I actually wanted to go a little bit over time because we haven't been able to speak to you for the last couple of weeks.
I know you missed me, right?
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, we do.
I think I'm becoming your favorite. I know we've had this earlier last season, but I really think I'm making my way to the top, and you just really miss me.
Well, let me tell you. Let me look around, make sure Senator McKinney's not on right now. Yes, you're our favorite. You're our favorite. Let me ask you this one question, though. Since we are a little bit late, I'm going to ask you anyway. Senator McKinney's been having some wins. We've been reporting that he's been having some wins for his bills and stuff like that. How about you? Have you been having some wins for your priority bills and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I had a bill in the budget, even though I didn't vote for the budget, that earmarked, and this came out of me and Senator McKinney going into DCYC. It earmarks some funding from the Department of Education to do a pre-apprenticeship training program for kids that are on probation and in detention, because most kids that are in detention end up coming home on supervision. And so it'll be a partnership with labor, NDE, because most of these kids do have a disability, like an IEP, depression, anxiety. And so we were able to earmark some funding for that, which I'm super excited about to do that pilot. So we will get partners together after the session ends. LB 751, of course, passed, which is the study around missing and murdered Black women and children. So it brings together State Patrol, the Nebraska Commission on African American Affairs, and then other stakeholders to do the study of why. Majority, like 700 Black women and children a year ago missing. We don't know why. And so this will tell us why, so we can do better policy or have better services. So I'm really excited about that. I had a labor bill that passed that came out of Urban Affairs around virtual inspections. My priority bill is on final reading, which puts more money from the doc stamp into middle income and rural housing, and it doesn't allow it to be swept. So we can't take the money out and then put it to the general fund. And then I'm working 2 bills right now that I'm trying to get done. Tuesday will tell, that allows for energy assistance. So like if you're like OPPD is about to get cut off, it allows for you to have more assistance. It raises the cap. And then my other bill is around doula reimbursement, but I don't want to talk about those two because I don't want to jinx them. So, but hopefully I have those pass. So yeah, I mean, it's been a good session. I think, you take it in strides as a freshman senator. I think I did really well. I have a couple of LRs that are setting some things up, for longer term. You kind of have to chip away at it. So, all in all, I feel like I did what I could. I feel good about it. And I'm like, okay, here's how I can maneuver to do better. Like I'm already thinking about like what's next. So.
I appreciate that, and yeah, we definitely feel like you've done a excellent job for sure. And
Hey,
I'm also thinking just encouraged a little bit encouraged by some of the news that came out in this past couple weeks. It seemed like there was some unanimous votes on some stuff and some
Yeah, I mean,
wins that you guys
school
had.
meals,
Yeah,
the DD waiver, the look back for Medicaid, both of those are Senator Michaela Cavanaugh's bill that she's worked on. Well, all three of those are. Two are in her priority package. One is, I mean, and that shows you like government does move slow and how people turn over here. Like you got to keep introducing because you might get the right mix. You built the right political will where it finally passes. So in her 8th year, 3 bills that she has worked on her entire tenure are going to be on select reading and can be passed this year.
wow,
I mean, well,
that's
really four
beautiful.
if we include doula, if that gets done. You know, not like
Mhm. Mhm.
so I think that's hard for people, especially our community, because we need wins now, you know. So it's like, how do
Mhm.
you balance
Mhm.
that? But yeah, so it's we ended the week last week on a positive note, and so I'm hoping we
Yeah,
can take that juju and keep it going this week and our last week.
that's what's up.
there you go. There you go.
Right on. I love it. Well, with that, buddy, unless you got anything else, I'll go ahead and let her go and close the show down for the day. What you
Yeah.
think?
No, I think that's it. Hopefully next week or next time we do this, the session should be over. Again, should. So we'll get a recap on things, all things said and done. Hopefully, got more victories on the way. But in the meantime, between time, we thank you for taking the time to speak with us. And yeah,
Yeah,
let's do it
you know,
again.
I appreciate y'all. So thank you for all you do, and I hope y'all have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Likewise.
All right, bye.
All right. Have a good one.
Peace, peace. Hey,
All
hey.
right. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, we got everybody's questions answered. Thanks for those of you who jumped into the chat. Get your attention and your time to the senators. And yeah. Big shout out to you, brother Jay Hanna. I'm kind of curious about that TIF registry that you say that you're managing or handling. Maybe drop a link into friends of. Let's check it out.
Been
Check it
working
out.
on that for a while, so appreciate him.
Yeah, yeah.
Jay Hanna is the first Come Off fan, man, major supporter of us. So we
Hey,
appreciate work that you're doing as well. And the shout out that you got from Senator Spivey. It's nothing like getting a cosign from somebody like that. So right on.
man.
Ariel's 402, claim your blessings. Hit the like button. I like that.
Hey, make it
Ariel's
hot.
402 earlier said petitioners were outside the Sarpy County Treasurer's office in Papillion want to tax online gaming for property relief.
Hmm.
Interesting subjects. We definitely have to dive in on
Hmm.
some of that. Yeah, for sure. I appreciate that. He said also says the wife said Iowa farmers are finding boxes of ticks on the property. They think the government is trying to get the Lyme disease rampant to help push a vaccine. Ooh, some
Hmm.
insiders. Okay, okay.
That is interesting. That's interesting. Also, speaking, I kind of touched on what some Republicans or Republican constituents are calling out, pilling about land and what's going on with the land. Came across another mining contract. Again, a lot of mining popping up in the Nebraska area, and I'm just kind of curious, as far as what are the implications financially? Where are some of the payments for that coming from? Where are the minerals going? Where are they being used for? Possible bombs. I don't know. And also, again, what does that mean for the environment? So, some things to look into. Some things to look
Some things
into.
to
Yeah,
dig
yeah.
into, if you will.
Hey. Yeah, I see what you did there. I see what you did.
All right, we're way past the time. We appreciate you guys hanging
Yeah,
on.
man.
Thanks for sticking with us during this different time. Again, we'll put it out there. Do we like the 8 o'clock start, 8 to 10 instead of the 7 to 9? Let us know, and and check us out at the end of the week here in the newsletter, the weekly wrap. We will put that survey in. I might even do that survey before. Just look at check us out on
Yeah,
our page,
yeah.
First Sky Omaha, and of course, friends of First Sky Omaha as well. Definitely check it out. Things to look forward to coming up on the 10th and 11th. Man, it's going to be all about the Hip Hop Lab. Shout out to the Omaha Performing Arts and everybody involved here. Culture House, Wild Style Culture Talk on Film, and also the block party that's happening, that's coming up with all these major DJs there at the Tenaska Center. So definitely check that out. We'll be talking about that next on Wednesday as well. Dig in for sure, for sure. Here's a little bit of a rundown of some of the things happening. Latino elected officials and candidate mixer is happening this Saturday. Also, how to start a podcast. Our friends over at Weberize, they're going to get down on
Hey.
Saturday as well, 1 o'clock. And then also the Nebraska Youth Poet Laureate final ceremony is happening on Saturday as
Mm.
well. Lots going on Saturday for real. Looks like you're going to be out all day on the Saturday. So we'll dig into some of that in a big way. And don't forget tonight. Tonight is the night. Please, I would love for our Chad Chimers and Ghost listeners to definitely frequent what goes on over at Film Streams once a month, the Omaha Checkup, a very special film series. This week will be Wall-E. They'll be talking about it, and we'll have some experts from UNMC that are going to be there after the film for us to have a little conversation with as well. Post-film discussion, they call it. Hope to see you there. If you show up at 6, there's some a little bit of food you can have there. But the movie's going to be starting at 6:30 tonight at the Ruth Sokoloff Theater. Hope to see you there tonight. Shout out to Film Streams and everybody else, and Katie Whites and everybody who's behind what goes on here. UNMC, everybody who's working this round of the Omaha Checkup every first Monday of the month. So please frequent this out of all the movies there, and kind of get into the culture of checking out Film Streams and going to see important films and having a discussion afterwards, and just kind of building some friendships there. I used to go with Jonathan Benjamin Alvarado and his wife. Every Sunday was our film day to go check out a film at Film Streams, and it was great. Just living alive with one another, being in the same spot, and having some discussion on important art, and it's always good stuff. So this is another opportunity for do that. Please show up tonight, 6:00, and see you there. Hopefully. With that, we'll talk more about some more things going on during the week, because I think this weekend, Saturday, is going to have a lot going on, as you can see. And so we'll keep on talking about it. And if you have any haps that you think we need to be looking at for this week or the weekend, please put them in Friends of First Sky Omaha and let us know what's going down there as well. With that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah, man. Again, big shout out to the senators for taking the time out of their schedules, even on a day off, to come and speak to us. I really appreciate that. And of course, all of you for chiming in, tapping in with us, just chatting with us for a little bit. Again, hopefully we can do it again. Catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Hey. And yeah, man, we appreciate y'all. Again, look out for that survey. Trying to figure it out. Trying to meet you where we can meet you the best, the most. Where you at? What time? Let us know. So in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo,
take it away.
Right on. Pop says, great start to the new week. He said, thank you. And see you soon. See you on Wednesday. Pop's favorite day. Appreciate you, Pops. That'll work. Not Jay Hannah also says, yeah, I sent to Facebook too. Thanks for approving my posts. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate you putting that in Friends of and getting those approved as well. More information is always great, and appreciate the work you do. So there you go. And appreciate the work all you guys are doing. Thank you so much for all the important information that you're bringing to the conversation and just showing up for the conversation in the first place. Just thank you so much for that. Shout out to Senator Ashlei Spivey. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney. I texted him on the way and said, look, we'll try again. We're going to keep on trying to make sure we get them where they need to go. After the session is over, maybe we can do a session in person and use some other tech in order to maybe to get the conversation going with them, because it does seem like they're sabotaged for real. But shout out to them for trying and coming through on their day off, like Buddy said. Appreciate that. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders allowing us to speak before you, and shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. Again, thank you for respecting the guests and bringing great questions and great comments in the conversation. And if you missed any parts of this conversation, go back and check it out on YouTube. This today, especially because of the great conversation that we were having about resources in our community. This is the kind of conversation we need to be having with each other. So go back and check that out. See if we can pull some things out of it and continue the discussion in the future as well. And please do yourself a favor. Go find out some of these questions. You can ask, talk to people directly, look up the resources, and come back with some more information, because that's really how we should have this discussion. Information first. Yep. With that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We will see you on Wednesday. We got a special guest that's going to come and speak to us on Wednesday. I'll be promoting that today. And so be looking out for that. It's going to be a very interesting conversation when it comes to resources, AI, and everything that we have to be doing when it comes to business, what we got to do with our businesses and going forward. So it'll be a great discussion. Stay tuned. And with that, we'll see you on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves. Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious, this is protected by the red